Yo, what up?
We are live. Welcome to today's episode of the Brand Risk Podcast. Today we have our guest, RBK Concealed, otherwise known as Joelle, 1/3 of the owners of RBK. And we have you on here today just to talk about...
Your neighbor.
Your what?
Neighbor.
Your neighbor. Your neighbor that you're trying to hook up with.
Oh, word? Wait, no way.
Yeah.
Fine or what? What's going on?
Bro. No, you never seen. You haven't seen the clip.
Yeah, I have to see it. You have to see what happened the other day.
Clip.
Yeah.
You need to see
Dude,
funny.
he's chilling. We're playing scrims, and his neighbor knocks, and she goes, "Hey there, is there like a TV that's on or something that's really loud?" I remember his door is right behind him. It's that door.
That's my door right there. That's my front door.
Like, oh, but you can hear this all on stream. And he goes, no, I think that's just me. I think I might be a little bit loud. I'll keep it down. Okay, thank you. And then
He's like, I'm playing games over here. You know, he said, I'm playing games.
Yeah, he said, I'm playing games over here.
I like showed her my setup. I was like, I'm just playing games here. And
yeah, he's like, come inside. You want to come inside? He's like, yeah.
Is she hot though?
Yeah. Is she
she's
fine
pretty,
or
she's
what?
very pretty. Yeah, she's very pretty.
Give her a rating.
And then
0 to 10.
Like a 7.5.
That's wifeable. That's wifeable.
and dude, you know the rest. You have to show us to give us the rest. Like you met her at the elevator.
Oh, I met her the next day.
Really?
You
On
was
the
smooth
elevator.
with it.
Yeah, I met her the next day on the elevator, and we just kind of talked, and she was like, "Yeah, I hear everything," and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." I was like, "I hear you too," but I was
man.
on. Well, I just
A woman.
I hear everything. Yeah, woman.
A woman.
I just have my headset on all the time when I'm on the computer, so like I don't care what the neighbors do. But
right.
Yeah, but I'll have to stop by her house sometime and get her a bottle of wine. Her doormat says like, "Hope you brought wine." So I'm just gonna.
Oh, it does.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Are you sure she's single though? Did you figure out that she's single?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually huge.
Even if she's not, she's about
I think
to.
I'm gonna have to do that, and like, it's like a love story. Now it's on Twitter now that I'm gonna have to like take.
The next day on
of,
stream,
like,
he dressed up in a suit.
Yeah, I dressed up in a suit to try to be loud to see if she'd come over again, but she did it.
Did you actually?
Did you actually?
Yeah. There's a clip.
That's
I clipped it.
funny. That's really funny.
I hop on the stream, and he dies, and he's like, "Fuck!" He's trying to be loud. He's just not even pissed. Like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, I was trying to be loud, but it was like, yeah, I wish I didn't stop by at night. So I'm gonna have to just go to her house, take the initiative and head over myself.
They have to knock on your door.
With the bottle of wine and be like, "Hey, I just brought wine."
Really
hey,
cool
you're
to
loud.
see.
Can you please keep it down?
Yeah.
Or we can be loud together.
Oh shit!
You guys are idiots.
Hey, listen. Like I said, I've said this before. I think this is recently actually. Hey, 7.5 is wifeable. I say 6 to 8 is the range that's wifeable. You don't want a 9 or a 10. Like, I think of my girl as a 10, but by the time we're getting married in like 6 years, I'm gonna make sure she's an 8.
Yeah, I didn't really follow that.
What?
Honestly,
Listen,
how
bro,
would you
tens
do that?
tens will cheat on you. 6 to
So you're saying
8s are wifeable.
Yeah.
So are you saying right now your chick would cheat on you?
No, when you're married.
Why?
Yeah.
Is she just she's gonna cheat on you
I'm
because
saying
you're
when you're
married?
married.
Makes no sense.
No.
that's
When
really
you're
makes no
married.
sense.
So you gotta by the time you're married, you gotta make sure she's maybe gained a little bit of weight.
She's
or,
beat a little bit,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm
or
saying?
accidentally trip and oh shit, you need nose surgery now. Like something like that. So yeah, it makes sense.
I think you're afraid of her becoming a 10, so because you're a 6, and like you're like, dude, she's gonna cheat on me.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
My dad always told me I don't look like Brad Pitt, so
Oh,
Your dad's is a nice man but a liar. So
yeah, he always
Right,
said,
that's fine.
"He's not the best looking guy." So
Yeah, I mean, what's that? My dad, like, oh, my dad always used to cheer me up. Yeah, my dad told me I was ugly every day.
Okay, so let's get into it. First question we're gonna start up with. This is off Twitter. Yo, bro, how do you start up your own org?
you
Great
just say,
question.
"I'm starting an org," and you just go start it? I don't know,
Yeah.
like, you have money that you know you wanna spend, and then you try to go about it.
Do you need money to
It's
start
kinda
an
hard.
org?
You need a lot of money if you wanna
Hey,
do, like, a
I,
legitimate org that pays all their players and is really trying to grow in the esports space, or you can just do, like,
That's if you're
a
trying to
lot of
start
these.
out at the top, right?
hey,
Yeah,
so I have a question.
of
Like
course.
in regards to this, what is like is RBK expected like an ROI anytime soon, or like is this one of those long games where you're like you're not gonna see a return on your investment for a long time?
I think in esports in general right now, you're not expecting to. I mean, it's a little different with Fortnite because you have orgs that started with like very nothing, a couple months. All of a sudden, they win the World Cup, right? And it's like boom, ROI right away,
Cooler.
Yeah.
right? But yeah, Cooler was a small org that just started like a couple months before World Cup, and then they won the World Cup. But how often does that happen? I think esports now, you're kind of long term investment for the future.
Do you think that like Fortnite is kind of like messing up the esport template for a team and like the way it should be ran? Because I feel like orgs were more previously more equipped to run in like a league system where things were more. So the reason I bring this up is because like as a businessman, you look at your team and your org and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to invest X amount of dollars into these players to develop them to the point where they can perform at X and Y, competition to hopefully make some money. Well, X and Y competition are never scheduled out like they are in leagues for Call of Duty, League of Legends, stuff like that. So do you think that Fortnite is kind of like it? I feel like they're kind of like choking out like orgs, kind of like because the orgs are paying all these players like thousands of dollars a month,
It's not stable.
but there's no like announcement for competitive for months on end, and when there are announcements, they're pretty sudden, and there's very little time to prepare for them, etc. Like, do you think that Fortnite's kind of like not really pandering to orgs at all? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think last year, I mean, we had our own issues with Epic and like org involvement and all that stuff. So I think for them, I think they're way different, right? I think I give us like a break in a way because it's like their first year that really was competitive. I don't think they expected their game to get as big as it did,
Mm.
just realistically, right? And the comp scene kind of grew so fast and it
Yeah.
developed so fast that I think it was a lot to like try to handle the first year. So I think right that it was like, oh, we just throw a bunch of money and everybody will be happy. But it didn't really work out that way. I mean, it
Right.
did for a lot of people.
But they
I
can't
think
keep
this
dumping
year, I
money.
think this year it has to change in order for it to like be sustainable. I think they need to. I think if they allowed orgs to be involved in the space, like they really promoted orgs and teams and stories like that, I think it'd be way bigger than what it is now. Just
I
because you have
think
a lot,
that
you have huge fan bases. For example, let's say like Cloud9 or Team Liquid and stuff. They have huge fan bases that if they got that involvement behind it, it would be way bigger than what it is now. Because a lot of people, like for example, they just watch League of Legends. They don't watch Fortnite. But if
Right.
you follow the org, like you'll follow. Oh, like hey, League of Legends Fortnite World Cup is happening. Like they'll like Team Liquid, they'll follow Team Liquid just to watch that,
Mm.
Yeah.
just to follow. They're a fan of the org, not
I
just
I
a
agree.
think
specific game.
I think the biggest thing that Fortnite and Epic Games is messing up with is not being transparent in their scheduling, and
Yeah,
maybe that's due to lack of their own preparation. Because I have this theory that Chapter 2 wasn't delayed for hype. I think it was delayed for fucking 3 days because they genuinely weren't ready. The game was not ready, so they just delayed it with a black hole for 3 days. And I feel like that's kind of like the precedent that Fortnite has done in the past, where like all of the events that they host and all the things they do, they're like, it's like ready but not really ready. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's
you
always
think they
kind
can?
of been the MO, and I feel like that really negatively affects the ROI of any potential
Yeah,
Fortnite organization, because like I said, when you're a Call of Duty org or a League of Legends org or this and that, okay, this tournament's coming up, this tournament's coming up, this tournament's
well,
coming up. This is like the payroll for these people that are on the team, this and that. But like for Fortnite, you don't have that forecast. You just have, oh fuck, we have to pay this payroll. We have a massive overhead to cover monthly, but we don't really have any reason to believe that there's going to be a tournament or an event coming up soon. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's why you see like Fortnite is not like any other esport where you see a lot of players get like picked up and dropped, or like it's very volatile, right? Because as an org owner, you don't know what's happening. Like let's say we signed a player, you know, back in November, all right? Now it's March and we've had nothing. So that, I mean, we paid that player for 4 months for nothing, right? Technically. So that's already like a really bad investment in a way.
Name him.
I think a lot of
I'm kidding.
No, I'm just talking like No, I'm just talking like say if you're an org, right, and you pick up, especially if you're a smaller org, your budget is way smaller, right? You don't have the huge sponsorships like a Honda or Audi or whatever you might have. So you don't have like millions of dollars invested into the org. You can't just be throwing away, you know, 4 or 5 months of payroll at a time because you're not gonna last very long.
I mean, I'm the only one that got signed in November, so I know it's about me. Hey, listen, bro, listen.
I'm just talking hypothetically.
You can't say I'm not doing a good job because the amount of tweets that you get about
you did a good job.
No, because the amount of tweets that you get about me gotta
so
show
it's
that.
bad.
Aren't the tweets usually about dropping you though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Please drop this dumbass.
Okay, no, but actual question, like how?
No, but for real, like I think Fortnite right now, it's a really bad spot. If they're not very like open about talking, I think what's gonna hurt more is, I mean, not really the players. Everybody makes money, right? Like the players are always making money in a way. If you're playing from home, like you get the cash cup events, like you get to play tournaments all the time.
Right.
It'll hurt the players in a way of like exposure, and I guess a contract from an org that could be really beneficial to some certain players. But you're gonna see a slow process in like people picking up players, because if you don't know what's happening, then why would you invest money in it?
After World Cup, the minimum wage, let's say, of a player,
Yeah, and the salaries are way too high,
like,
right?
Increased by a ton because of World Cup, and then now it's like there's no point.
There's no other World Cup.
Yeah, and there's no tournament because you don't know, right? You're like, oh, like fucking Epic got a World Cup, was a big event, everyone was talking about it, posters everywhere, this shit fucking worked, and after that, that's silence.
Yeah, but if you look at World Cup, right? Let's take that as an example. Like, remember how orgs and jerseys and stuff, like you couldn't have your sponsors on your like jerseys and all that stuff. So imagine you're an org, right? And you pick up a bunch of players for the World Cup, and you know, you tell your sponsors like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You know, this is the biggest event ever, like $30 million, all this like viewership, and then like 2-3 weeks before the event, they go, hey, these are the jersey rules. Like, you can't have anything. Right. So like we went through that with Left Eye. Like we sent our jersey in, it said it was approved. We get to the World Cup. Like some guy there, I don't know who it is. I wish I could know his name so I can talk to him personally. Made Left Eye
fuck him up, right?
Made Left Eye take a pair of scissors and cut his jersey before walking out on stage, because he wasn't allowed to tuck in his jersey because it had a size tag on the bottom left that just said like extra large and like an RBK crown, very small. He was gonna tuck it in. He said no. So he took scissors before going on stage and made him cut it off.
Really?
Bro, you know what's funny? Turner went on stage and he had a shirt under his like leopard print thing, right? He had like a leopard print like vest or whatever. And the shirt under the leopard print thing, it said fuck on it. Like in giant and bold letters, it just said the word fuck on it. And they freaked out, bro, because I guess he got like hot or whatever, and like he's being live streamed. So like took his like little leopard thing off, like just put it on the ground, start playing again, but it just says fuck across his chest. they freaked out, dude.
No, they said they were gonna DQ him, so he had to come and grab the shirt real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was like a lot of things, like a lot of bigger orgs. You saw it. Like there's a lot of people that took away their own org logo and had jerseys made just with sponsor logos. Like that's awful in a way, right? Because you paid all that money for that player to be there, and you got like no viewership from it because nobody sees your logo. Nobody sees like anything. Yeah. We had an event last year too, like online, where like one of our players had like they took pictures and they had this hoodie on, and like this was blurred on the screen.
Yeah. Secret skirmish. It was Germ.
Yeah, right. And I was like tweeting him out. I'm like, what the hell? Like
they didn't blur out Liquid. They blur out.
They blurred out ours, right?
Really?
The whole thing was blurred. So I was like,
they were doing a player's spotlight, right? There was Germ and there was like let's say Poach, and Poach was like this with Team Liquid there with fucking what's his monster, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
And Germ is blurred out completely.
Yeah, and you just saying like so, you know, like I've had my different opinions on things with Epic, but I've had a different.
That was fucked.
I'm like, to be fair,
they apologized.
I don't think anybody like would ever wear your logo. You know what I mean? So
that is true.
Yeah, it's like
I hate you.
Yo, why RBK? What's that come from?
So it's kind of a funny story. So we were brainstorming like names, all right, before we started everything. And for some dumb reason, don't ask me why, it was gonna be Space Kitties.
No, thank God I didn't sign this.
Listen,
Space
yeah, well,
Kitties. Yo, Space
That's
Kitties
dope.
A-Rod.
Listen, if you saw the logos we got made and stuff for that, it was dope, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Stop.
Space Kitties A.
It was like a kitty face and like an astronaut suit. It was, dude, I'm telling you, it was
Bro,
dope.
imagine like sitting down like a serious like board of directors meeting for an investor, and they're like, "All right, so what do you have to present for us?" And then you're like,
Shows up with
"We
a
have-
mask.
Space
we
Kitties.
have for you today our deck of our team, Space Kitties." Bro, you get bro, like grown men would laugh at you, and then they'd probably beat you up. That's probably what happened.
And, but we went to that. We sat around and we like started coming up with names and stuff. And like Raised by Kings came by and it was like, that's it. Like he just knew like that's what we're gonna be.
Who was it? It was
started-
you, Chase, and Luke?
Yeah.
Just coming up with it. Nobody else?
I mean, like we messaged like our group of friends and like
yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, what do you guys think about this and stuff? And they were like, you know.
So-
and then we got somebody start making logos and stuff,
Yeah.
and then this came up.
So Luke and Chase are the other two owners. Everyone
Mhm.
listening.
And
There's
Garna and
There's Concealed, there's Luke, and there's Chase. Luke is your boy 77 on Twitter, and then Chase is So Clean, the one that had the infamous DM. I don't know if you want to dive into that DM. Preferably
I
not.
mean, no, I mean it's out there, right? So it's like
Do you
what was
think,
said was wrong on our part. Yes.
right?
Wait, what was it? I forget. I mean, I probably didn't even know, to be honest.
I'll pitch into this because I don't think the DM was that bad.
No, I mean, no. Listen, the DM was it shouldn't have been out there. Whatever it said, it is what it is. I apologize for it. I take responsibility for it, and then we move on. I
The
think that's the way to
the
go about it.
DM was right before Parpy got removed off RBK because he had uploaded the video. Edwin, I don't know if you saw. Everyone knows recently there was that little drama where basically they flew out. You know, Joelle flew out. They paid for an editor. They paid thousands of dollars for flights and hotels, etc., so that they could film this production, so that they could upload it. Because that's the whole point of having a player on the team, is so you can make content out of them, right? I'm not gonna be one to take RBK's content when Joelle's coming down here to film interviews with me and make this whole production around the city and etc. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna be one to take it. It makes sense, right? You don't see people like in TSM uploading, like Slappy's video gets uploaded to TSM, not to his channel, and even like letting him up. Anyways, so
I mean Daquan.
yeah, exactly. All those videos. The point is for the brand to have a brand around the players. Like Bjergsen, you know, Bjergsen has his own YouTube channel on TSM, but never once have I seen one of these crazy videos from TSM, because all the Bjergsen, like about Bjergsen videos go on the TSM channel. On his channel, he uploads gameplay. So anyways, that happened, and then there was a DM from So Clean right before he got removed. He was like, dude, like, stop acting like your story is some kind of gold. We all have a story. We've all, you know, been somewhere. And like,
Words of a businessman.
that's words
No,
of a
I think,
businessman.
I think, right? Like you have to think. There's a lot of emotions that went on.
Of
in
course.
that. And don't get me wrong. Listen, like I said, we take responsibility for the DMs. They're out there. I apologize for it. I take responsibility for them.
No.
But I mean, there's a lot more that goes into that, right?
Right. But
But
that's why I'm not telling you to comment on it. I'm commenting on it. I'm saying I don't think those DMs were bad. I've been in that situation. All right, like, this is aside from me. My parents, their houses were bombed. Their houses, they lost everything. They were held at gunpoint, lined up in firing squads, and they got lucky enough to make it out and not be ones that were shot. They moved here. They built a traditional business. They've had all this shit. Okay, everyone has a fucking story. I was in Lebanon. We're playing basketball, okay, with the boys, and all of a sudden we hear fireworks a mile down the road. And we're like, oh, sick, fireworks, like during the day? Who does that? My mom comes running down 30 seconds later. Yo, they're bombing around us. Get the fuck inside. We're like, oh shit, they're bombing around us. Next day, they bomb the airport. We have to flee on a Navy SEAL ship, right? An American Navy SEAL ship. They were gonna take us to Cyprus. They end up taking us to Turkey, and in Turkey, the women can't be with the males, so they take us. They split us up from my mom. They're about to take my younger brother, who was like 1 year old. No, he was 3 years old. Sorry, it was in 2005. He's 2 years old. Taking my little brother to not be with my mom because women can't be with the men, right? They're in different camps. And my mom, like, wouldn't let him go. Like, no, you're not taking my son away from me. Like, he's staying with me. And then eventually, after like 30 minutes of them going back and forth, they let my mom take the baby with her to my little brother to the camp. And we were split up. We were split up for 3.5 days until they flew us out to Europe. It was a shitty camp. There was one foosball table for like 8,000 people, and it was just a desert. And like we've all had a story, and for me, like I get to speak on this because like I'm an Arab and I've been there, and I understand that DM, and I don't think that DM was that bad. I think that DM was Chase being a businessman. I don't think it was. Exactly. There's no PR when you're outside. Like, obviously, people hate Chase because he's the boss, right? Like you're the front side of it. You're the face of it. Chase is like making he just is pure numbers.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, obviously your numbers, like you're part of your ownership, but he's got to be the bad guy,
it's good,
right?
it's
He's
good,
gotta be
it's
the bad
good.
guy. Like
it's good cop, bad cop,
Yeah, like my dad hates firing people, but he's got to do it, dude. Like even me, I had to fire someone the other day. It felt so fucking weird, and that's what it goes back to. I just think I don't think that DM was that bad. Like everyone has a story, and yeah, go ahead.
From the outside, it felt, but because like of course I'm not an RBK, I was not in the shit, and I from the outside, from what I could see, is that Parpy was purely ashamed of representing your org, and he didn't want that. I don't think he felt like he was proud of representing RBK, like from what all I've heard, and then
But let's
not
not
wanting
that,
to post.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
That's
just what I saw.
I don't want
so,
Joelle
like,
to have to speak on this. This is us giving thoughts. I don't want him to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've spoken my part.
Hey, you've spoken your part. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to bring it up. I just want
I think it should be something that it's done. It happened.
Yeah.
Move on. We learned as an org, and I wish him nothing but the best in his career. So
yeah, I mean, dude,
where I'm at with that.
I like the guy too, but he blocked me because I spoke against him. So that is what it is. Yeah, and I guess that is what it is. So I ended up using that story, by the way, for the next 8 years to write about in every single essay that I could.
Really?
Every single essay, even my college acceptance essay.
Yeah, it's cool to be an immigrant, right? Like my parents, like we came to this country.
You have a story.
I didn't know a word of English, but I came here, right? And it was awesome to see my parents make a sacrifice to come here, and it was pretty dope.
I just realized we're all foreigners, actually.
Yeah.
No one's from...
Yeah.
Dusty's literally not even here. Dusty's in fucking Canada.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a foreigner, bro. I battled the gods of the oceans, dude.
The maple syrup.
Were you born in Canada, Dusty?
Yeah, I was born in Canada.
Oh, then you didn't go through shit. You guys have fucking universal healthcare.
Yeah, you guys have
I got mortar strikes where I'm from. Arab got mortar struck where he's from. This motherfucker probably got know what I'm saying?
I didn't have a rough childhood, but I had a rough...
where are your mortar strikes, bro? Where are your mortar strikes?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Dusty's toying with you.
But hey, it's nothing wrong with it, right? Everybody grows up differently, so it's like you can't.
Yeah, like you're foreigner. I'm like I suffer. Like I'm Tourette. Like of course, like I joke around and shit. But like I guess
stop. That's fake. Stop.
No,
stop.
It's not fake.
Okay.
And like, bro, like
that's it. Listen, I'm not doubting you. I just want to see like a doctor note that says Dusty has Tourette's. Like I just want to see it one time.
I mean,
like,
bro,
I'm not doubting you, but I just would really love to see it.
Joelle, you watched my stream yesterday. Like, how many times do I blink in a stream? Like, I
blink a lot. I blink every time I edit. That doesn't mean anything.
No, but like
I blink every time I shit.
But he does. He has like Yeah, he
I
has
have a lot of
tics.
tics, and I don't have
Yeah.
vocal tics. I have physical tics.
Yeah, I
And
know that because my brother has the same thing. He does
he has
like
Tourette.
stuff with his eyes, like,
He has
and then
Tourette.
sometimes he does it with his hands.
He has
He'll
Tourette.
just, I mean, we're Spanish, bro, so we don't really go to the doctor.
Yeah, right.
So to us, it's like,
Dusty's like, oh, I have Tourette's, like, yeah.
No,
hey,
but it- ADHD.
No. My parents. I was 7 years old. My parents went to the doctor. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Because I was just a complete mess, impulsive. I would say I had no filters, right?
Do they
Like
still take you because you're
no
still a
filters.
little bit?
And then I worked on my filters. Like, bro, I remember like I was 7 years old. Go to my mom's workplace, and her boss, right, says I really like craft dinner or whatever. I like, oh, that's why you're fucking fat. And I was 7. I didn't have any.
Dude, it doesn't sound like you have Tourette's. It sounds like you're just an
You're a
asshole.
kid.
No.
That's not Tourette's.
No,
That's
it's just
you're
many
an asshole.
explanations. Like I
Yo,
was.
If this
10,
is
9
Dusty
years
with a
old, I lost-
filter, I can't imagine without.
I lost my hockey game. I took my stick and I fucking threw it on someone in the stands. I was 9 years old. Like who the like
Bro,
my parents were,
means
like,
you're
ashamed of me.
dude,
No, dude, I'm just fucking
Dusty's,
saying a bunch of
you guys are
explanations.
getting in Dusty's bad side right now.
Yeah,
No,
like,
no.
listen.
I'm just saying that like I was a complete fucking mess,
Hmm.
and I seen a therapist for like 10 years every single week. And like without my mom, I would probably be in the streets right now. Like I'm not even kidding. I was a fucking mess. Schools didn't want me at all because I was getting kicked out of schools, like elementary schools and shit, because I was just in like I couldn't be containable. Like it was
Now
just
you play
insane.
video games for a living. What a fucking loser.
But yeah, I just
Bro, it's so funny. It's funny you say that because like literally, like going off of what Joelle said, like for like a Hispanic mom, like
Yeah, dude.
bro, no, there are no Tourette's in the world. You're gonna like you threw a hockey stick at people, like you called somebody a fat ass. Like my mom
my
would
dad was on
beat
this
my
side, he was
mom
like-
would beat me into a pulp, bro.
With a
My
wooden
mom,
spoon.
my mom would beat me into a pulp, and then she'd be the reasons I have Tourette's. Like she'd be the reason that I had it after she beat me. You know what I'm saying?
Like I like that line that Joe did say though. We're like, yo, we're Hispanic. There is no we go to the doctor for that. Like that goes back to the line that I like to talk about ADHD, where everybody now has this Adderall subscription and ADHD when really it's just kids being kids. Like,
Hey, Arab, tell him about tell him about how our Airbnb at fucking World Cup or TwitchCon, whatever, whichever one, where all the white people got pissed off, but like you and me were like, bro, we've slept on dirt before, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Joelle too. Joelle was there.
Yeah.
What?
Joelle stayed at our Airbnb. Like I made
stayed
sure.
there, but I just felt bad staying there, so I was like, I want to get my own place.
No,
So I
but
felt
like
I was interrupting.
No, but like, so we get an Airbnb, right? We've all seen the same images, right? I don't know how big this place is. It turned out to be much smaller than I thought, but the images made it look like it was
It was
some
a
fucking
studio.
Yeah, it made it look like it was a castle. The images, right? So like everyone pays their part. Everyone gets there. I'm sitting on the toilet in fucking the Atlanta airport. Still, I haven't gotten to Cali yet. Waiting for my plane, and I get a FaceTime. And it's Lunez, and he goes, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Bro, this place is so small." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "This is not what we saw." I was like, you know, we saw the same images. Like, I didn't see different images than you. You agreed to this. It's like, all right, I want the bed. I was like, okay, have the bed. We get there, like I'm looking at this place. The 3 white people there, you know, sorry to say it, but like the 3 Americans that haven't like slept in these places before, that are like tight, were like, dude, this is fucked. We don't want to stay here.
Okay.
Dusty being one of them.
Okay,
Dusty,
no,
Lu-
okay.
Let him finish the story. Let him finish the story. Let him finish the story. Let me finish the story.
I don't care.
And then it's me, Shio, Edwin, and then Joe ended up coming as well last minute. And we're like, oh, this is cool. Like, for me, that's bonding. It's like, yo, you guys are in a tight space. You're all sleeping short. You're at this Airbnb to sleep. You're not at this Airbnb to...
Oh,
to-
yeah.
You're at TwitchCon to meet people, and you come to the Airbnb to pass out because you're probably going out to party with people at night anyway. So it's like, you come home, you're just sleeping on your bed in these tight spaces. Like, we've been in these camps, we've been in these villages where it's super tight, etc. And it was like, yo, this is bonding time rather than, yo, this is fucked up. This is super small and tight, and it's a different hardship that like you kind of appreciate. Yo, I like the tight space because this is the homies, the homies bonding rather than.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, it was nice.
I think it's just,
no,
dude.
I
It's just,
know.
it's a level of like our standard for living and our understanding that it could be way worse based on the things we've seen in our personal lives. Take that into account, and you see an Airbnb like that, you're like, fuck yeah! You're like, hell yeah! There's a couch right there. Yeah,
Okay,
like you're stoked,
dude,
No,
like.
I don't think it was that. Listen, like
listen,
I went in
it's
there
not.
and I realized it was like 10 dudes in a one
It was
bedroom
6.
studio.
It was 6 dudes.
But it felt like 10.
2 pull-out couches. It felt like 10 because we're all obese.
I don't care. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, I've slept on floors. I do not give a shit. Honestly, I could literally, like, I don't care. I don't care at all. I could literally sleep in a fucking cabin. But the thing is you pay for stuff, right? And when you see
Yeah.
pictures and you pay, you want to make sure that you get what you paid for. So
But were the pictures lying?
when I get in and I see water leaking, right? I
Yeah,
see
that was it. Was there were
doesn't
some
look
things wrong with it
it
too.
doesn't look at all like it was in the pictures. I'm like, bro, if we can get a chance to get our money back, then it's awesome.
Yeah, but that
right?
wasn't the
And
first thing. That wasn't the first thing.
And bro, I wasn't complaining about like, oh, I'm not gonna sleep good. I don't give a fuck about that. Okay, it's just you paid $200. If you can't get it back because you didn't get what you paid for, then that's awesome.
Listen, I'm
That's
just
why I wanted to
saying.
do that.
You guys went to another place. I ended up
Yeah,
fucking.
'cause
I ended
wasn't
up
in
fucking
there.
Edwin in that
Yeah,
bed.
yeah, and I would like to say, I would like to say that if I recall correctly, Dusty has the least to complain about anyone. Because if I remember correctly, Dusty ended up passing out in my bed, drunk as shit after throwing up in my fucking bathroom. So Dusty definitely got his money's worth one way or another, motherfucker.
Yeah, but the roof was
Yeah,
leaking though. The
No,
roof was leaking. I remember that in the living room, and like, well, the whole apartment because it was
No,
one
no,
studio,
that's-
so it's not the living room. It's leaking in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Dusty, my point is like, we all saw the same pictures, right? Like, I didn't see this place. I didn't see this place before. I looked at the pictures. I said, everyone, make sure you agree on this, and everyone gave me the yes, right? Edwin didn't even stay there, and he ended up paying me right away. Like, Edwin stayed there for 1 day, but it was just because he had already said yes. He was part of the payment. He's still.
I mean, I stayed there for what, like 2 days?
No, you too, obviously. Right. I'm not saying
like.
Yeah, but going back to the ADHD thing, like it, especially foreign parents, they're more like, dude, these are just kids, rather than yo, they have ADHD. Let's give them a drug that turns down their personality, that turns them into a robot, and let's actually raise them and teach them respect, and rather than yo. Hey there.
Yeah, but there's two sides as well. Like, take this with a grain of salt. Like, if your kid is autistic, like,
But that's
you
not
don't
what we're
No,
talking
that's
about.
different. That's
Well,
very
that's not what we're
different.
No,
talking
but like,
about.
I'm
Very, very
saying that
different.
like,
Don't even
I'm
try comparing autism to ADHD. It's
I'm
not
not
the same.
comparing. It's an analogy. It's not comparison. I'm
Right,
just
right.
saying that like, if your kid, and bro, like, of course, you guys are talking about ADHD to a really really small level. Me, without my medication, I am just I'm completely like unstable. I just cannot focus on anything, and that's why I have eye
Well,
dosage, and that's why I
Bro,
was
right, but now
medicated when
you're
I was
stuck
like
to your
12.
medication forever.
Bro, listen, and here's the thing.
It's
I
fine with
feel
me. I'm
like
not a robot. I take it, and I'm don't become.
I
a
feel
robot.
like personally, I have ADHD to an extent, like the way I see it described. But it's a matter of like
You can deal with
obviously not taking away from anyone that can't deal with it or actually does need the medication. But I personally feel like self control and like discipline plays heavily in that, because I feel like if you don't learn how to, dude, like as a human being, if you don't have extreme chemical imbalances to the point where you are autistic, you are a savant, you have Asperger's, whatever. If you're categorically a pretty normal human being and you have ADHD to whatever extent, you should at least try to,
Yeah.
in your adult life, get away from the things that you have to take and just, you know what, get a planner, get a daily planner the night before, fill it out with the things you have to do during the day. And then the next morning, the first thing you do, wake up in the morning, is you look at your planner and you feel like you have some structure. That helped me. And that helped me when I became self-employed, because when you become self-employed, you do one of two things. You either fall into this crazy loop of like, you wake up in the morning, you feel like a piece of shit because you don't really have your day defined or anything to do. So you just kind of like mope around, or you get your shit together, you become your own, your own self motivator, your own discipliner, and you get your shit together. Like I'm sorry, dude, but I just feel like I 100% agree with Arab, and maybe it's my Hispanic upbringing or whatever, but like that shit is just never drugs for little kids to get away from being like weird or being little kids would never be the answer for me
No,
unless
I
my
agree
kid
with
was like
Arab.
chemically imbalanced. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree with Arab. Like, I don't suggest anyone to like the first thing they think about is, yo, I need Adderall because I can't focus. But when you can't finish a fucking sentence, right?
No, of course,
Because
people
you
do
just
have it.
lost
No,
you
yeah,
right?
I
Because
think,
me, it was
But
that. My parents would ask me a question, I would start answering it, and then I would completely forget about the question because I looked at my fucking
right,
spaghetti.
people's brains
But
are
is that
Right?
different,
but is
right?
that is that something you could work on by slowing down like
no.
consciously? You
So
get what I'm saying?
look, I'll tell you. Like, well, the girl I used to date, right? She does like counseling, mental health counseling for little kids, right? And there's definitely kids out there that have some kind of imbalance that need some
Mhm.
type of drug to kind of balance them out. There's also things that can be worked on with just like without drugs and just therapy, right? Like if you're a bad kid, like maybe you had a bad upbringing, maybe your dad's not there or not, mom's not in the picture or whatever it might be. You get abused or something, but it's not something that you need drugs for, right? It's something you need like
Yeah.
you just work on it over time.
Yeah,
But it's case by case, so it's so different. But for us, from like a Hispanic culture, right, we're very much into like we don't want to admit like what's wrong.
right.
That's just how we were
But
raised,
it's
right? Like I
good
never want
because
to
it
admit
ends
like
up it
But a lot
ends
of
up
the
making
times,
you.
a lot of the times, there's nothing to admit because there is nothing wrong, and a lot of
yeah,
these
yeah.
things,
There's pros and cons.
like dude,
There's pros and cons to everything.
listen. The thing is, when you say that, you don't want to admit anything's wrong. Well, like I said, I somewhat disagree with that because in reality, there was never anything wrong to begin with, and a lot of these companies are just trying to fucking shill you another pill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my wisdom teeth out, right? They gave me hydrocodone and some other shit to take. I did not take any of it, and I was
Yeah.
fine. But I know that there's people that do take it because they're like, oh well, my doctor prescribed it, so I have to take it,
Yeah,
and then they get hooked on that shit super easily, super quickly. You know what I'm saying? It's like because once they hook you for ADHD medicine, like once they tell you have this and you have that, you start personally identifying with that, and you start
yeah.
making it a part of your character, and now
I
you
can't do
have to
this without
have
my
it.
medicine.
And
Yeah.
you have to remember
Exactly.
though, pharmaceutical companies are a business, right? They're for
Yeah.
profit.
No,
So
100%. But I'm just
that's the way it
saying.
works.
But I'm saying like when somebody's like, oh, I have ADHD, I have Tourette's, I have this and that. Like maybe for a week, pretend you don't. Try your hardest. Like have
So you
some.
think
You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
have any type? So you don't
No,
think
I'm
it's
not. I'm
me?
not saying. I'm not saying
I say
you. I'm not saying you.
Tourette's,
Okay,
like,
okay.
yeah. I would
Because
say
it pisses
Tourette's
me
is a
off.
little bit
I'm not.
different.
I'm not.
Pisses me
I'm not
off when
saying.
Edwin's like, "Yo, you don't have that. Like, are you sure? Like, I want to prove like, dude, it's dumb."
No,
I'm
no.
actually
I'm not
saying that.
saying you don't. I'm just saying. I'm just saying a lot of people get like just because somebody with a lab coat told you have something, you believe them. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, shit. Like I guess I have this, and
Well,
then
when you see
and
your
then they have a
dad
they have a
and
customer for
is
life. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's Tourette is hereditary, right? Hereditary. So like, is that how you say it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hereditary, yeah.
hereditary.
Like yeah. So like, when you go there and they tell you, oh, you have Tourette, and and you look at your dad, you're like, okay, my dad is undiagnosed because he doesn't know he has it, but he definitely has it as well, in certain different forms. The thing is, Tourette is in different forms. Sweet Nita, bro, it's vocal, and she's and there's also levels. There's a scale, right? I
Yeah.
probably have Tourette like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. She probably is 6, 7, right? I'm lucky enough to not have those vocal tics because those vocal tics they limit you to do any type of
Yeah.
job. As when you're a student, you want to work fucking the grocery store, you can't work, you can't be in a place where normal people are. It sucks, and I'm lucky, I'm grateful. That's why people are like, oh, they're like, oh, why are you blinking, right, in my stream? Like, are you tired? I'm like, no, I'm Tourette. And they're like, oh shit, my bad. I'm like, what? I'm grateful. Like, I literally have something that people don't, and it's okay. And some people have it a lot harder than I do. And dude, fuck, if this is my only fucking like flaw or whatever, but not definitely not my only one, but like something I struggle with, then I fucking take it, right? So yeah, I don't
I
really,
respect it.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it. Like I said, I think we went over this.
No,
Lexi. I
I
definitely
mean,
believe.
Evan,
I
you're a
definitely
piece of
believe you.
shit. Just stop.
I definitely believe you have it. I'm just saying that when you start identifying with it on a personal level to the point where it's like, like the people that have like the type of car they own in their fucking Instagram bio and like that's all they're about, and then like they're car gets fucking totaled, and now they like lose part of their personality because they're so attached to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that like the things that you have, like your Tourette's, your whatever, they shouldn't define you as a human to the point where like you're like, oh, I need my medicine, I need this, I need that, like I can't do it without this and that. Like, you know, like I think it would be a healthy you know, exercise to try to go a day without or 2 days without and just see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get older, because like those things are really, like from what I know, a lot of those things are like ADHD, stuff like that. They're a lot heavier when you're younger, and as you get
Yeah, there's
older,
peaks. There's peaks. There's
people grow out of it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when you're older. I think like after 25, like towards 30, like you really start either settling down or like it really heavily, you know, cements in the fact, okay, I really do have Tourette's. Like if you're over 25 to 30 and like your symptoms haven't gotten better, then yeah, of course, like take your medicine or whatever. But like you know, those medicines, they have side effects too, man. You know, like nothing cures some shit without giving you something else. That's just growing up. My mom and my dad were always super adverse to medicine. Like you know, my dad like never took pain pills. Like neither did my parents. You know, they just didn't believe in any of that shit, and it kind of carried over with me. I'm even weirded out by taking ibuprofen. You know what I'm saying?
I have a I don't take ibuprofen. I think the last time I took Advil was like 6 months ago because I had extreme like migraine that I just couldn't get rid of. But you know, something like I have a family friend and their son has severe autism. Like it's but like this like best friend, family best friend. But the family never treated him any different. You know, obviously they put him in like the school for it, but like when he was home, they didn't baby him or whatever. They just raised him like, yo, you're one of us. You know, you're not any different. And he became very much more capable because of it. Like when he does something, his brother will call him a fucking idiot. Not like when he does something stupid, his brother will call him an idiot. Not, yo, it's okay, man. Like keep killing it. Like and it like. It made him understand like, yo, these are taboo things, these are stupid things, blah blah, and understand culture so much better than like if you were just to baby him and be like, yo, it's okay, you know, you have autism, you're different than us. Like, so yeah. Anyways, let's hop back into RBK. Where do you let's see if you'll answer this one. Who do you feel like RBK benefited the most from? Which player so far?
I think we benefited from everybody, to be honest. Everybody you benefit differently though. You know, some players you benefited from.
Do you feel like one player that you've signed had a major impact on you guys? Maybe left eye for qualifying.
Okay, just stop. It's your question. Like,
no, this is off Twitter actually.
Just say Arab.
No, this is off Twitter.
No. I mean, I think we accomplish different things with every player, right? I think we were heavily focused on
go ahead.
Other different aspects. So like we gained, let's say left eye went to the World Cup, right? So we got like exposure from there. We had Ritz, right? He won like
tournaments,
2 or 3 European events, right? So we exposure there.
Does that get you exposure? Leaderboards? Like how much exposure do you get from somebody placing on top of a leaderboard?
Not much, to be honest.
Right? Nothing.
Yeah, I think it's what you do with it. But my advice to players would be is the way you become more valuable for yourself as a brand into an org is, yeah, you place to, you know, top 10 at a cash cup or whatever. Okay. Those things are forgotten so fast in the space. Unless you win one of the major events like the World Cup, like who won trios, who won squads, who won duos, who won solos, nobody cares anymore, right? Like that's in the past. The only people they remember is like, what tournament do you remember? Is like, oh, Buga won World Cup, right? So like these little placements don't really matter anything if you're not doing anything with it. You have to like put yourself out there. You have to stream. You have to upload content, and you have to be consistent with it. You can't just stream once a month for 3 hours and be like, oh, I stream, right? It's like it really does nothing.
I mean, I can't. You guys have me signed with a required 400 hours a month. So like,
you should have given me
imagine 400 hours.
Who's the first player you guys signed?
Triz.
Is he still on the team?
No.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I don't think he does play Fortnite now. I know. I mean, a lot of players like the last couple of months have been taking kind of like a break, playing different games and stuff. But he's actually a really nice kid.
Yeah, Triz is
I
cool.
think your roster was actually really nice. Yo, I know all like your Gillies, teens,
Yeah, dude, our roster's full of awesome people, man.
Germ, J Love. Like they're
It
really
was all
good
great time.
people.
Yeah, I think at the time we were at, we did the best we could. I think all the guys were trying really hard, and
Yeah.
it's
What'd you do
That's a
before
small
this?
org.
Like what'd you do before RBK?
so I worked at Topgolf before RBK.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you want to
So
hear
I've
something
done
crazy?
What?
I mean, Joelle knows this, but I go
Oh
to a
yeah.
convention center with my dad every November. It's called the Ayappa Expo. It's like a amusement park expo, and it's across the street, like literally across the street, not
From
to
where I
the
work.
left, to the right. It's across the street from the from where he works. And we
Yeah.
entered that Top Golf once, and it was just like a 3.5 hour wait or some shit. So we left, but like, and we went to the Andretti's that's also next door to it. And I was like, dude, Joel and I's paths have probably crossed
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
even knew who each other
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
kinda
Bro,
Yeah.
that
So
crazy.
that's
happened.
where
That
we
happened with
were.
me and Arab Jaw. Did Arab ever tell you about fucking how our paths kind of crossed before we met? How many years? Like 2 years before we
I'd say
met?
2.5 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
I
He
used
fucking tried. He tried exposing me and my friends on a fucking drama channel. And this piece of shit.
no, it wasn't
Yeah.
like that. Stop.
I hate drama channels. They're the stupidest thing ever, man.
I used to work for
hate-
one. I used to
I
work for
hate it.
Sierras, yeah, and so Edwin had gotten in drama, like Juke Squad had gotten in drama with.
I heard about that.
Another
You told me.
YouTuber,
I heard
yeah.
about this, but it's kind of like I hate those channels.
I just think it's funny that it was fucking Arab, dude. Somewhere,
Yeah,
somewhere in his little fucking room, he's like, "Oh, look at these trampoline drama. Let me just send this
Yeah,
over
yeah,
to
yeah.
the scares." Like, it's funny.
All right, so Top
Like,
Golf for how long?
I worked at Topgolf for a year to change, and then I worked. I mean, I did a lot of hospitality.
Hmm.
Like I've been working at restaurants, man, since I was 17. Was my first job was at Applebee's.
Oh
Worked
shit,
there for like 4 years. Then I worked at BJ's Brew House.
that's a good
for-
one. They give good BJs, yeah.
Yeah. I love their Pazookies.
What a
Yeah,
good,
yeah. They actually have the bomb pasukis, dude. Like if next time we go to an event, like if there's a BJ's, we're going to it.
Dude,
It's
BJ's
like a
is
cookie with
dude,
ice cream. It's good.
no
Wait,
ad. Like this isn't obviously not sponsored, but like, dude, I went to BJ's like the other day with my chick, and holy shit, bro,
It's good.
do they have an array of food?
we
Like
have
they
Yeah,
have
it's like
they
cheesecake.
have like it's better than cheesecake because I've had
No, I'm
bad
saying it's
cheesecake.
like
I've never
no, I'm
yeah,
saying no, I'm talking about like as far as like food, like huge menus.
dude, it's
Wow.
is
crazy.
it a Florida thing?
I've never seen a menu like that though. Like it's
I just
it's
Florida.
literally like a small Bible, and you just like go
Mhm.
through it. You're like, holy shit, like everywhere. At, like
Yeah.
for like Chinese food, Italian food, like
Really?
pizza,
Yeah,
dude,
everything.
like ribs, everything, bro. I got ribs that day, and it was it was delicious rib. It
Yeah.
was fucking
Because we
like
have BJ's, but it's a grocery store.
Yeah. There's two different ones. So like
Okay.
the brew house,
There's
so they
nothing like
actually
that in
make their own
Canada.
beer and stuff that they have on tap there, which is kind of cool. I mean, they make their own sodas. They have like root beer, orange soda, cream soda, and all that stuff that they have on there too. But they have like a huge menu, and you go through it. But at the end, you have to get a pasuki, dude. It's
I
like
wanna
a
go
cookie.
there,
They put it in
dude.
a little bit. It's like a hot cookie, and you
mhm.
can pick so many different flavors, and they put like ice cream on top, dude. It's so good.
They have
And
the
you wonder why Americans are fat, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bro, they have like the three cookie sampler, which is honestly what I
Oh,
get.
dude, so
Because it's
good.
like a Pazooki's like fucking big, bro. It's like really big, but then like you get like the small like 3 samplers. Yeah, dude, I'm fucking.
You can
hungry,
get
bro.
actually like I'm not sure if it's still the same, but when I worked there, you can get like a huge one, right? And you can share it for the table, and you get like 4 flavors on it, and it's like this huge thing, dude. And you just gotta go for it.
Dude,
Dude, I'm
so
down
It's
to
pretty
go
dope.
there.
Yeah, and I worked there,
What?
and then I worked at a company called doing commercial insurance. So like I was an assistant there, and then wasn't really much. I mean, I was younger there at that time too, so I was more into like going out and stuff. Not so much anymore. And then I worked at Cheesecake Factory for 4 years.
How old
And
are
then
you
Top
now?
Golf, I was for you 30.
30. What
No.
like you're how did gaming tie into this? Take me through your gaming career, not your
So,
like actual literal
like
career.
my
Like
gaming
how did
career. So
how
my
did
gaming
you
career.
yeah, like how'd
Go
you get
ahead.
to this point now? You know what I'm saying?
So, the gaming career started right. I used to go first. It was like MLG Halo events or like local Halo lands.
Nice.
That's where we started. And like our group of friends has been playing games together. We used to skip school just to go back to the house. So we used to walk to the bus stop. We all used to live in like the same neighborhood. We used to
and
walk to the
leave.
bus stop in the morning, right? We used to see the bus come, and then all of us would look at each other and be like, all right, it's time to go. We would just go
Dude, I
back
used
to
to
my
do
friend's
that
house.
shit.
Used to go back to my friend's house. We would all leave our Xboxes there like overnight, and it used to be a system link. So you used to, that's a little box and you plug in all the Ethernet ports to each other,
Yeah.
right? And everybody had the little TV there and everything. And his mom would always leave way early, like before he even went to the bus. So like his house was always open till like 3-4 o'clock. So we knew before that it was like school's already out, so we would just go home.
Wait, so you would skip class?
So we would skip class.
They
and we would
wouldn't
all
call
go
your
play
parents?
Halo. Yeah, so this is funny, but like back in the day, we didn't have like cell phones and stuff. So they used to
Pagers?
call your house. No, they used to call your house and leave a voicemail. But it used to be, I think it was like at 3:30 every day or something. I would go home. I would
Deleted.
make sure that I was by the phone at 3:30. I would delete the call off the caller ID and delete the voicemail.
Bro,
That way my
I
parents
did,
never knew I didn't go to school.
bro, I did that same
Yeah.
shit at my school. Whenever I skipped, they used to call my parents, and my parents would get pissed because Hispanic parents that get fucking irrationally mad.
Oh, dude, my
Maybe not
parents were
irrationally, but anyways, dude, I went to the front office because they had these little forms you could fill out, and because I just kept getting in trouble for it, so I just handed in this form to this lady. I was like, "Yo, my mom told me to give this to you," and it was like a form where you filled out like a phone number change. I just changed the home phone number to my cell phone. So it would just whenever they called, it would just come to my phone. I didn't get in trouble for it anymore. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. You see, like I didn't have a cell phone, so that's what we would do. So we went to that, and then I tried to play not really competitive Halo. I was so young. I would just go to the local lands, and that was always fun. And that was cool. You won a couple like $40, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then Call of Duty came around, and I started really getting heavily involved in Call of Duty. And I used to go to like the MLG events for that all the time, and so did my brother. My brother actually was playing professionally at the time, so it's kind of cool. So we would go to the events and things like that, and I kind of noticed like my inspiration was seeing it grow, right? Like I watched it from the beginning when we were playing on the tube TVs to then like main stages started popping up, and like it started getting bigger and bigger. And then I realized like back then I was like, I'm not gonna be a player for when it's actually gonna be good. I want to be involved in the business side of it. So that was like my vision back in the day. It was just getting in the space. It's hard, man. It's not easy because it's like people ask you for experience in esports. Like, how much experience can you really have in the space? Unless you
Right.
were in it at the beginning.
Say like
you
8
started
years. You've been gaming for 8 years.
Yeah, like I've been gaming. That's my experience. Like, no, I mean, you have business experience, I have sales experience. I can talk to people. It's not a problem, but I don't have esports experience in a way that people want. Um, and yeah, so that's what I always visioned. And I applied for so many esports jobs, and I never got a call back or never did anything. And I always got denied. And I did a couple like free jobs, like internships in a way I would call them, for like orgs, like smaller orgs and things like that.
Are
And
you
it was
happy
fun.
that
I
you got
liked it.
denied?
In a way, yeah. In a way, but at the same time, I wasn't when I was at that age, because I was like, dude, I know I can do this, right? I know I can, like, I can be a community manager.
What was
Like,
that
you know how many
age?
community manager? Early in my early 20s.
Okay.
Because there was a period of a couple years that I was like, well, this might not be my thing, so I have to work. Like, I have to pay bills. So like, I was working at the restaurant. I was doing jobs that would allow me to go to the events or like watch the events and things like that. So, I don't regret it now, right? Like, obviously, I'm in a good spot, and I enjoy what I'm doing. I love what I do. So
That's what
that's
I
kind of
that's
where
what
I
I
am.
always
Yeah.
that's what I always tell people, man, that if you're not happy with what you do during the day, that you have to go home and not just hang out and watch TV. You have to do something that's gonna make it so you don't have to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, like the
Like
things I did is, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't have time at work," and it's like that's an excuse, right? There's plenty of time. Like if
24 hours a day.
people didn't become billionaires just sitting at home and like, "Oh, I don't have time," right? Like you make time. Instead of going out with your friends, you don't go out with your friends. You go at home and you teach yourself things. What
Bro.
I would do is sometimes I would skip going out with my friends, and I would sit at home and I would watch like Hex, and I would watch Hastro, and I would watch Jason Blake from Complexity. They had a series, you can still see it on YouTube. It was like the business of esports, right? And like how it started and the trials and tribulations, how he went through, how he was broke and all that stuff. Like I used to just watch things like that. I enjoyed it. Like even now, I just enjoy watching people be successful at it because I want to know how they got to that point. And like
Yeah.
But
you
then
don't want to mimic it. You don't want to do the exact same thing. You want to put your own twist to it because they've already done that. Right? So you
Yeah.
can't be the same as somebody else. You got to be different in a way.
Yeah.
the thing,
Watching stuff like that is good though, because success
Yeah.
definitely has parallels across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like success, everyone comes up about success differently, but there are definitely parallels and little flags where like you can be like, oh, like this is happening to me now. I remember when this happened to that guy in that series and
Yeah.
what he did type shit. Yeah.
No, of
and you
course.
learn that failure isn't actually a thing in business. It's like your failure is basically a win because you learn from that. And like, dude,
What's in
you're not gonna have something successful without actually failing something, or like it's gonna be really rare that because
Yeah.
you need to learn, and the only way to learn in business is the hard way, which is fucking up sometimes.
Yeah, and I think like you look at it like me, right? Like when we started RBK, nobody knew who we were, nobody knew who I was, nobody knew anything about me. But my thing was like, am I gonna sit at home and cry about it? No. So I would took myself to the all like if you every event, I've pretty much been to every Fortnite event
You
besides
talk
like
to everyone.
two,
You talk.
right? And I just talk to everybody that I can, just so like you can see who I am as a person. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm just a normal dude that has a job in esports. That's it, right? Like I'm just trying to grow this thing. So it's like there's a lot of orgs out there, a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I'm gonna say I can't do this, I can't do that." No, you make a sacrifice. I don't have all the money in the world, but I work so that I save my money. I don't spend it on stupid shit, so that I can go to these events and meet people, network with
Right.
people, to
Right.
get me to the point where I am today. And I'm nobody still, but I'm growing. Right? If I look at myself now from a year ago, I'm way different. Right?
And
Like
it
I've grown as a
snowballs.
person. Right? It's like, but you have to make sacrifices. You can't like success is not going to just be handed to you. You got to go and get it. So you got to figure that out how you want to do it. If you want to spend time with like Hex said as a video about Hex, like esports is 24/7. Like yeah, if you want to spend time with your family, it's cool. No problem against it. You want to hang out with your friends on the weekends, that's fine. But don't expect like people to know who you are, respect who you are, because there's
Yeah.
somebody else that's going to do it,
That's
and you're
with
not.
anything. That's with anything,
Right?
man. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a business in general.
people always like bring up like, oh, what's gonna happen if Fortnite competitive dies? Like all the quits leave, or all the pros quit and leave. I'm like, bro, there's just gonna be somebody else who's
Yep.
hungrier, who wants it, is gonna take their place. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if these pros don't want to wait for the next event and quit before it happens, somebody else is gonna take their place. You know?
I don't even
Very
Yeah,
think
it's,
it's
there's
that
always
true.
somebody
bad.
else, man.
It's like it's been 2 months. Like it's not that
Yeah,
intense.
people freak
Mhm.
out, bro. People
Every
really
Don't
be
get done.
sport.
out here quitting.
It's
You
because
know?
they're bored. They don't
Well,
like.
it's
I don't feel
also
like they like what they're doing.
Here's the
it's
problem though,
also
like you shouldn't
it's
be
also
freaking out.
there's no forecast either. Like no one
Yeah.
knows when it's gonna happen, and some people just don't like. The thing is, like being a business owner and like being self-employed to whatever extent, you have to understand that some months you're gonna make $10,000 and some months you're gonna make $1,000. You know, but some people don't like that in their lives. Like some people need some sort of consistency to feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to have faith in your own ability to make a living regardless. You know what I'm saying? To be self-employed
Right.
or be one of these players, and the people that don't have that mental strength are the people that quit the first. You know,
Yeah.
the reality of it.
But yeah, like you said though, like if you quit, okay, cool. Guess what? In the real world, people quit all the time and people move on right away. Like
Yeah.
if you quit your job, you think your company's gonna stop working? No. You quit. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. I
You
appreciate you
just
being here.
you're just
And
an
thank you for
asset
your time. And you
to
hire
people.
somebody else to fill that job. That's just the way the world works. Just like Fortnite. Like if a pro player quits, thanks. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming. I mean, Epic won't even know technically who you are unless you're one of the top 1%,
You're a
right?
number.
No,
And
no, not
then
1%. No, not
I'm
top
talking about
1%. Like
like
top
you're one of
five
the
people.
top 10 players,
1% is
right?
1% is
But
really big.
I'm saying like so there's gonna be another kid that's hungry that wants your spot and he's gonna fill it, right? Like it just gets filled. Like imagine like a pool or like the ocean, right? If you take a cup of water out of it, like water just fills it automatically. Like there's nothing that
Wow.
happens there,
True.
right? Like
Wow.
it's still the ocean, so it still moves without
I
you
hope
or
your
with you
neighbor
there.
heard that. Because she's definitely following along. Holy.
Yeah.
That's
Can
funny
you just
as
hear?
hell. Yeah, that's
Well,
so
yeah, I think
funny.
that's what it
She
is.
comes in with the wine and the suit.
Yeah, no, I think that's where it is, and that's where I got my career, and that's the way I think about things. I
I think
hate
there's a difference. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a difference between wanting it and actually doing like
Yeah.
the work for it, right? People are gonna watch videos and be like, "Holy fuck!
True,
I just
right?
watched that video. It's so inspirational. Like I'm ready. Like I want to start." About it's Friday, so I'm gonna start Monday, but I'm gonna have the
Uh,
weekend to and that's just you don't want it enough, like right, like if
uh,
you want to start something, doesn't matter what day you are, what doesn't matter if you're December 2019, you're like, oh, we're gonna wait 2020, we're gonna start fresh, new, it's dumb. People like if you want it, you're just gonna like get up that one day that you felt like you really wanted to work, and you're gonna work your ass off, no matter what time it is, no matter. And some people are just not made for that.
yeah.
For
Some
one
people
thing,
don't want to work, man.
One thing I will say too is that I'm a firm believer in working smarter, not harder as well. I feel like with anything in life, especially in business, you have to be calculated as much as you have to be hardworking. Because like some people work their ass off, bro, but they'll be running in place for years, and that's the reality of it. But they think they're working, but it's not about
Yeah,
dude. It's
yeah.
it's
Right
it's
place.
it's it's work, but it's also like it's this thing called
Stupid work.
wherewithal, which is like it's like you have to understand the conditions around you and the things that are changing and this and that, like insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So you have to
Well,
pivot, you have to adapt. Businesses, that's how it is, man. And gaming is no different. Gaming's worse, bro.
yeah.
And like the thing about gaming too is it's gnarly because like football, baseball, soccer, all these things, they're games that have existed for generations and generations and generation. The rules are set. The abilities that you have to be good are very known. But in gaming, it's like, okay, well, Fortnite's cool for 2 years and now it's dead. All right, now Project A's out. Oh, now we have this entire new skill set to learn, and the people that were good at Fortnite aren't good at this game now. So fuck all of you guys. Like we have this new people that we're growing. Like,
But that's
and then this
because,
game this
yeah,
game
Yeah.
exists for 2 years and it happens again. Like how many times has it happened? Halo, Call of Duty. Like how many fucking Call of Duties have come out that
One
have
every
different
year. One
mechanics?
every November.
Whatever, literally every year. So it's like it's crazy that that's how gaming is. Gaming is a very very volatile sport at best. Like if we're calling it a
Yeah.
sport, it's the most volatile one.
I'd
That's why I
say,
tell players like your career in gaming, it's not if it's the way it's looked, right? Like you gotta look at history. History kind of repeats itself, like you said, right? Like games come and go. So does your career in gaming. And your career, it's like a baseball player can play 20 years, right? You're not gonna be a gamer for 20 years, man. You gotta adapt to like other things. You're not gonna be a pro Fortnite player at 40. You're just not,
Bro, the
right?
only
Like
Player
the only
pool.
game,
but your brand can be something for
yeah.
20 years. Like you can be a streamer, you can be a content creator. You got to look
Yeah.
at guys that are older, right? In the space, like some of the bigger streamers out there. You look at Dr. Disrespect, you look at Tim the Tap Man, you look at Courage, look at these people that are huge, right? Nick Merckx. They're all huge, right? They're all great gamers. They're not super professional gamers, but they're entertainers now. They've shifted, right? But you have to make that shift. But right
uh,
now, if you're in the dark, you're not going to be able to make a shift. You're not
but
going to
Yeah.
like,
I
oh, I'm
think we're
done gaming.
looking. I think
Now
we're
I'm
looking
entertaining.
at the wrong kind of. So you're saying esports is very like volatile, where these games are switching in
Yeah.
and out. I
Yes.
don't think so, because I think there are those cemented games, right? Dota 2,
There are.
StarCraft, League of Legends, CS, and these are
Mhm.
like the sports that were built and were decided by everyone that, yo, these are great, such as football, soccer, baseball. You know what I mean? They were built from somewhere and they were refined and whatnot.
The only
What I'm
game that
saying
I'll
is,
vouch for being unchanged over time and really staying the test of time is CS:GO. And
yeah,
the reason I say that is because Dota and League of Legends and all of these things, they have something that a lot of sports don't have or no sport has, which is a changing of metas. Like
Right.
soccer, football, baseball, metas don't change. Like that, it's just the game is what it is. You're either good or
The
you're not. Like in these games, it's ever changing, ever evolving. And because you were good in this meta doesn't mean you're good in the next
in
meta.
the next minute, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're worthless. You know what I'm saying? And in a game you were just a superstar and immediately you're not. Because of an update. So
Well,
you know,
it's
True.
just gaming in general, right? Like,
But
how many pro players really are out there that are been out the same scene for 20 years? It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
this like in gaming. It's not easy.
And it's hard because there's always gonna be that 15-year-old that's
Yeah,
refreshed, that doesn't
that has
not
more
drink,
time than you, doesn't have a girlfriend,
that
doesn't have a
and
job.
and, and bro, his brain is literally empty. He just takes as much information as he can fucking take, and he's not drained like you. Like you played for 5-6 years. Oh yeah, I'm gonna balance everything. He's hungry more than you are.
Yeah.
So like that's what's hard about the gaming is age, dude.
I have a
In
question.
all the sports, draft is at
Yeah.
18. You play until you're 35. All adults.
I have a question about. This is a question on Twitter. It's what are the top 3 things you look for when you're looking for new players to join RBK?
I think the first thing is consistency in as far as like tournament placements and stuff like that. This thing we're starting to change now. And the second thing is branding. Have you put in time and effort into building a brand for yourself? Because yes, we can help you and take you from 0 to 100 or whatever you might want to be. But it's way harder, right? And it costs a lot more time to do that. And then third is a personality. Can we build that brand that we want to build? Can we build it around you? You know, do you have that personable aspect of like you can engage with fan bases, right?
Marketable.
Yeah, are you marketable? Can we go to an event, right? And do you have people that support you at that event? And do you treat everybody with respect?
Right.
Like you look at somebody like one of the kids that I have a lot of respect for in this space is Benji Fishy, right? That dude will sit at events and I watch, right? Because I watch everything just to see how everything kind of works and everybody is. And he will put a smile to every person that comes out to him, takes a picture with everybody. Yeah, sometimes he can't
He's
do it.
such a happy person.
But he tries his hardest to be engaged with his fan base. And you need that in this space, right? You need that. You can't just be out in the dark. What makes you is your fans, right? You're not bigger than your fan base. Like you're not just like this egotistical person like, oh, I'm good, I don't need anybody. Like, no, like don't be that. Be somebody that's approachable, marketable, personable, that you take that time out of your day and you show that person, you know, you make that person's day.
Right.
Because then in the long run, right, you come out, let's say with some merchandise. Guess what? That person that you made that day is going to buy your merchandise, right? And then you make money that way too. Right, they're going to support you for your career. Now, when Fortnite is done, when Benji Fishes switches games, which he probably will because he can't, right? He's a good gamer. He's going to have a fan base that supports him wherever he goes. Right. It's not like if Fortnite's dead, Benji Fishy dies. No, it's not going to work that way because he built this brand for himself. So that's what we look for in players and things like that.
So we said personality, branding, and competitive ability.
Yeah, you have to be good. What about incredible good looks?
Then we wouldn't have had A-Rab.
You talk a lot.
No, honestly, that's a good question though.
Hey, stop. No, you talk a lot of shit, but you're about to get rocked in this race in 2 weeks. Okay,
I'm telling you, I'm smoking you.
Like honestly, but good looks, dude. I don't think Nate Hill would have gone signing the phase if he wasn't that good looking at the time.
I don't know about that, but
I disagree because they signed some real neckbeards, bro. I don't think.
I don't think
at that time he fit the perfect fucking role for what he was signed.
Well, that's because he was also modeling. He got signed to FaZe as more than like he said, right? Branding. Nate Hill's brand was that model. He can model for FaZe as well as being a good gamer. So I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he
doesn't even do that. I feel like he doesn't even fucking model.
No, he does. A lot of their videos. The Man City one, yeah.
Manchester City X FaZe. It
was just Nate. There was nobody else.
Collab, yeah.
That was a while ago, though.
I don't know.
That's a big one, though. That's huge.
But you could bring on, because esports is evolving, dude, every day, right? Like, or you have to evolve, so you have to go into more of like a lifestyle brand. So you might need to bring somebody on that can portray your merchandise or be that face.
Right. Like I'm not gonna lie, 100 Thieves' model that they just had for their merch was pretty ugly. So,
I mean, there's a reason why when they post pictures, they always post Avalanche and Mako and not Frosty. And I don't want to like.
Damn, called them out by name. No way.
Fair point.
I mean, it's true.
If you're listening to this, I don't agree with the statement.
Damn.
If you don't agree, it's a fact. I'm not saying he's ugly. I'm just saying that Avalanche and Mako are better models.
He said you don't.
He's not ugly. They're just better.
He said it's a fact, is what he said. I mean, it sounds subjective to me, but anyway.
It is true.
I agree. I agree to an extent.
Can you not?
Yeah, looks are a thing in the world. I mean, looks are a thing in the world.
Like, I'm just saying, there's a reason why you always see
That's
Avalanche and Mako.
There's a reason why you marry a 7.5 and not a 10. Because you got to make her a 7.5 before you're married.
Yeah, I mean, you can marry a 10, but you gotta beat her in her. I'm just playing. Anyways.
I don't agree with any of this going on right now.
Oh god.
You talked about long-term plan. How
Yeah.
long, like when you sit right for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
how long do you planify? Like, how long do you plan? 5 years, 10 years, or 3?
Yeah, I think you have both, right? You have short term plans, you have long term plans. It all depends. We have 6 month plan, 1 year plan, year and a half plans,
Mm-hmm.
3 year plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan. Like it just all depends. And esports is gonna change all the time, so you're gonna have to change those plans so fast. Like so, yeah. But I mean, you try to plan as long as you can, but you also want to plan your short term as much as your long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
That's
right?
good.
If I'm correct, yeah.
Do
I think
do
that's
you
what
have
you should
backup
do.
plans? Like, do you have backup plans? Like, oh, if this shit happens, like, oh, we're pulling that
Yeah,
card. If this shit happens, we're doing
yeah.
this. Like, you're waiting. You have a lot of items in your inventory, and you're just waiting to put them out.
Yeah, like for example, like
They have my
let's
release
say
letter
this, right?
ready.
Let's say like Fortnite says, you know what? There's no competitive. We're not supporting competitive scene anymore. Like, what's our backup plan? What other games are we gonna get involved in? How are we gonna move
Yeah.
around? Like, what are we gonna maneuver? Yeah, those are all things
Do
we
you
think
have
about.
any other games that you guys are trying to get into other than the Fortnite or no?
Right now, we're just waiting on a Fortnite announcement, but yeah, we want to get involved there. The goal this year is to expand like our titles and expand our fan base. So we're not gonna
Right
just
in a
do it
Project A,
just
bro,
Fortnite.
as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
That's
So Project A
important,
is a
I
game
think.
that we're looking into heavily. Of course, anything supported by Riot, you have to look at.
It's safe. It's gonna
Like,
be
you just
franchise.
have to look at it just
You ever
because they
play?
put
You ever
so
play
much.
Destiny? Unrelated.
Yeah,
Do you like
I played a
Destiny?
lot of Destiny actually. Yeah, I love Destiny.
Really? I just
Yeah,
started playing like today. Today's
yeah,
like
the
the
game's a
first
lot of
day
fun. I have it.
ever playing Destiny. Really?
Yeah, on
Hey
PC.
man, if you're down to play, hit me up.
You
Dude,
guys
I'm
should
down.
play
I love
tonight.
Destiny.
Well,
Bro,
you guys
there's a Trials, bro. Trials is coming back March 13th apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that. Like apparently it's gonna be a huge thing for the community. And I had this kid, and I don't know if account buying and selling is as frowned upon in this community as the other one, but apparently you can't really play Trials or do well in Trials unless
No,
you
you
have like
can't. You have like good guns. Yeah.
you have to have like a stacked account. And this kid's selling me an account for like $200, so I might actually buy it, but we'll see.
You both should play tonight. I mean, you both have been
Wow.
streaming, and Edwin's gonna be trying
Yeah.
Destiny. And
That's another
down.
thing, right? That I've been like streaming and stuff lately, just because like we go back to this thing like making time, right? Like doing something to help you grow. Like I stream and it's not to a lot of people at all, but I do it because it's if I have 3 hours of free time in my day, why not find a way to put my name and RBK's name out there, even if it's for 3 people at a time, right? Like I don't stream to a big audience; it doesn't matter to me. To me, it's like I'm putting in the time and effort, and people see it. And
Zero-
you do it consistently.
Mr. 3K.
zero viewers for 2
Dude.
years.
Dude,
Joelle,
I'm telling you, like I've
Joelle,
streamed to 3 people at a time, 0 people at a time. Like
Yep.
I'm just chilling. Like I don't care.
You do your
right?
thing,
But
and you just
I do
enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm
Joelle said
gaming
something
anyways.
really, really interesting. We were playing the dual ladder, the late night ladder 2 days ago. And he said that, right? That he's streaming and he doesn't care if it's small or big. Like he
No.
just wants to stream. And he said, and that's really stay with me. He said, I cannot ask for people to stream if I'm not doing it. I cannot ask, I'm a boss, right? I cannot ask for people to do stuff and then sit my ass off and not do anything. Right.
Yeah,
So
but you can.
and
But
that's
it's because it's kids.
no,
that you
no,
can't.
but like he's told me that. No, but it's cool,
Yeah.
right? Like you ask people to stream, you're like, why are you not streaming? And he feels like he has the time to stream, so he's gonna do it because like he feels bad about asking people to stream if he's
Yeah,
not
I
doing
think it's
it.
like a lead
It's
by
fine.
example kind of thing, right? I work for
Yeah.
people that, yeah, they're my boss, but they don't do anything, right? And you just like, when they tell me something, I'm like, he doesn't really do it, so why should I have to do it? And he's the boss, and it's like, why not I do it too? And that way, there's not like, oh,
You
but
understand it more.
like I'm helping you, right? Like I'm putting myself out there just like you are, even though I'm not as successful as my players. It doesn't matter to me. My whole goal is for my players to be successful, right? At the end of the day, because without my players, then we're nothing. But if I don't put in an effort to do it, then how am I going to ask of them to be like, do this if I'm not doing it myself?
Right.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in practice what you preach. You know what I'm saying? I really hold myself accountable to that. You know what I'm saying? That's like when I don't know, like I really call I hate when the pot calls the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? Does that makes sense? Like when you do something, but then you call somebody else for something, but like you do it too. So it's like
Keemstar?
I feel a perfect example. Yes, excellent example of that. He was the last motherfucker that should have replied to that.
Yeah.
Genuinely should have been the last person
What did
that
you
had
say? Who?
anything to
About
say to
what?
that.
Keemstar.
With the whole Dubs thing, man. Like
Yeah.
Dubs, he fucking quote tweeted and said yikes and shit, but this motherfucker.
Isn't he part of FaZe?
He's friends with all of them, but it's the
Yeah.
idea
His
that
friends, dude.
when-
Hey, clout friends, dude.
it's the idea that when
He's a big
Keemstar
fan.
was much older, he was like 25.
No, I saw the video. Yeah, I saw that stuff.
He had a team on Call of Duty called FAG. That was their acronym. It stood for something, I don't know, but that was it. What was it? And he would troll with the N-word. That was his
I know.
video.
I mean,
Like,
I
you've
saw the
seen-
videos that came out and stuff. I think, right? Listen, and that whole thing that happened, right, with us, we've all made mistakes. Are they mistakes? Yes. Are we responsible for our actions? Yes, you are, right? Like you're held to a higher standard depending on where you are in society, and that's just the way it is, whether we like it or not, right?
Right.
So, yes, he is part of FaZe. He was in this involvement. It happened. You take responsibility for it. You're punished for it, and then you learn from it and you move on, right? And I think that's where everybody should be. I think we've all made mistakes in our life that we would love a second chance, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he is younger. I get it. And I accept that. He made a mistake. He owned up to it. I agree. He's in the wrong. Should never said that. It shouldn't even been said in the first place. It should not be part of your vocabulary at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's nobody's fault. That's you. Even though it got put out there, that's
Right.
still on you. You said it, so it's your
Things don't-
actions that
things
put you
don't
in
ha-
that spot.
Things don't
Yeah.
happen to you; they happen because of you.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you should be canceled for words though. Like I think the only reason you should be canceled if you physically.
Bro,
I
I
don't
don't
think it's no. It's not the cancel thing. It's just owning up to your mistakes.
Yeah,
You have to own up to your
it's not-
mistakes. You
it's
made
not-
the mistakes, so the consequences that come from it is on you.
Yeah, and I think the whole being canceled thing, like, yeah, I agree that like if like a word really sucks to be quote unquote canceled for, but like when you're given such a massive platform, you're also like, what the fuck did Uncle fucking what's his face say to Peter Parker? With great power comes great responsibility. You're held to a higher standard
Yeah.
of action. So it's like when you fall below that publicly, especially with a word like that,
Yeah.
it's hard for the people that employ him to justify not doing something. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like you have to think about it from a business standpoint. You
I
get what
think
I'm
he
saying?
got the best possible punishment that he could.
I agree. I agree.
For
I think
everybody, I think it makes
I think it worked out the best for him.
for
You have to
him,
look at it
for
from a
FaZe,
business,
for
right? Like
everything.
I think we talked about this, right? From a business perspective, right? You
Right.
gotta look at it like this. FaZe is a huge organization, right? And there's huge investment in FaZe. And then
Right.
you have huge sponsorships for people like Nissan and things like that, right? And they don't want their name associated with stuff like that.
Right.
They don't, right? Because it's just a PR nightmare for somebody like a
Right.
Nissan and things like that. So it's if he got dropped or if he didn't get dropped, I don't know. It's not my business, right? But if he
didn't.
did, I know he
So-
didn't. But I'm saying like if
Alright,
he
right.
did, right? From a business perspective, I would understand why, right? Because if like somebody that's paying the checks calls and says, "Hey, we cannot have that around," there's nothing you can do that's out of your control, right? Like if not, the company doesn't. Companies run on money, and if the money is not being put in there, then there's no company. So
Right.
if something has to be removed for
Right.
the money to be flowing in, then it's nothing personal. It's just business. You
Even
take
for
that.
Dubs.
And I think, listen, he's a young kid. He made a mistake. I get it. He did. We've all made mistakes. He manned up, apologized for it. I don't think I hate any kind of slander against race, sex, anything. It should not be said, but it happened. He said it. It's his actions that got him in that spot.
Right.
I feel like the problem with kids is, when Edwin said, with great power comes great responsibilities. The thing is, the guy from overnight just fucking becomes famous. The thing is, when like IRL, right, you become famous, you change like of environment. The kid sits in his room, like his room a year ago was the same fucking shit. Like he's in the same place, same environment, and I feel like
So that there's more
yes, he's
eyes.
famous, but
It
yeah,
doesn't-
he doesn't really realize what he's into, right? Like what he's in.
Well,
right
also
now.
it's like
Yeah, but it's not an excuse either, right? You
That's
can't make an
not-
excuse for
No,
I'm
everybody.
saying the thought
No,
process.
wait,
That's
but
why I'm explaining
stop,
it. I'm
but-
not excusing it.
I think it is an excuse, okay? And let me explain to you why. It's nurture, right? So it's like the way you're raised. Like you can't blame this this child that's 13 years old in Africa that's raised by African warlords for wanting to kill people when all he's ever known is African warlords, right? Like he's raised by that. He doesn't know it's wrong to be a warlord and to be that
That's
thing,
not the,
right?
that's
no,
not
but
the same
no, but it's
situation.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
it's not the same.
nurture, I think, where it's like when you're raised in this southern or like
No,
hillbilly
same.
kind
I
of place.
I disagree because you have
Yeah.
access to the internet and you know that it's wrong, and people
Yeah.
tell you that
Yeah.
it's wrong all the time, and you know the TOS, and you've been streaming for years, and you know what's at stake, and you still
The
did it.
reason why he said it is because he knows it's wrong.
And I'm with you, Arab. Yes, I 100% agree with you that in that case, or like the case of that one kid that comes into your stream that says he hates gay people because
Right,
that's
he's
what
raised because he's raised by
that's
Muslims from Saudi Arabia, where like that's
yeah.
where he's been taught. That's what he's been
Yeah,
taught, and
but listen, part of his career and part of his job is to be a PR face for FaZe, and I'm gonna go
right,
back to something I said a long time ago, which is not every job is meant for every person. So
right,
if you like, for example, that girl that has Tourette's
and
on
Annie,
Twitch,
sweet Anita.
yeah. So
Anita.
her she has tics. Like obviously we were talking about Tourette's earlier. She has acute Tourette's to the point where like it's both audible, physical, like she just like freaks out or whatever. And her chat triggers her to say fucked up things. Like I don't know if you guys saw a video. She and I'm paraphrasing, I'm quoting this obviously. She was like goes like looks at chat is like reading it for a bit, like makes this weird face, like goes back to talking to everyone, and then she just says fuck Jews or like says some like crazy shit. And she's like, it's my chat. She's like, they're provoking me to say these terrible things that I have no control over. But now let's talk about TOS. Now, what she said right there was very TOS. Any of us would have gotten banned for saying that shit. Now, does
Right.
she get banned because of her situation? No. Well, like, yes, no. Like, and it goes back to not every person is meant to have any job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just some people where, like, you know, if you want to be a professional
But she
pool
didn't get
player,
banned.
but you don't have any fucking arms, like, how are you going to become a
Yeah,
professional? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't
Like,
think he
type
should
shit.
get banned.
You know,
The thing with Anita is like, what do you want her to do? She literally like the only place that she's accepted is literally Twitch. Like because what's happening in your like in your mind, the thought process is wait, listen.
I'm with you on that, but you have to think about it from a business perspective. I understand that
Yeah,
you don't think she should get banned, but
Well,
realistically,
no, I mean she has a medical condition. What? Come on,
yeah,
it's completely
but
different.
it goes back to the whole not everyone is meant for every job. You get what I'm saying? Like, is that fair to say? I'm not
yeah, but
saying
it's
she
not.
should get banned. I'm not saying I agree on that, but I'm saying I see where Twitch, if they had to make a decision, if people were like, yo, this girl is saying some crazy shit, and whether it's because of her chat or because of her disability, whatever her condition, like that's kind of out of their hands. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's even worse if they ban her and then because she literally cannot do any other job, okay? And if it's the only place she's accepted, if they ban her from the only place she feels safe and she ends up doing some, dark stuff, then it's on them,
Wait, what?
right? I don't think
What do you
that
mean? Like
banning
she
her
becomes
is a
a
good
serial
play.
killer because they ban her?
No, he's
No,
saying
no, no, no.
if he
She ends up taking her
she
life
does.
away because she doesn't feel like she belongs in, on Earth because of her because
That's
she
not
really
on
feels accepted
them.
on.
I mean, that's not how
It's
that
not.
And
It's not
works.
on them
I
at
mean,
all. It's not on them at all, bro. Listen, like I said,
no,
you're.
but from a business perspective, though, like the fucking articles, right? It's gonna be like, oh, she got banned from Twitch and then ended up killing herself. Like that's gonna be like the main story, right?
I
I'm
mean,
just saying from a business perspective.
right. I'm with you, but it's like it's either she was banned because Twitch had to make a move because she was directly breaking TOS. Regardless, there's nothing in TOS that says these rules apply to everyone unless you have this and that. That is not in TOS. That is not in the terms of
Yeah, but
service.
that's part
Period.
of the context idea, Edwin.
Right, I understand that, but within context, it's still like when that is such a because she gets a lot of views, bro. She's a pretty
Yeah,
prominent
but you
person
can't control it.
in her communities. I know I'm not saying that she should get banned at all. I watch her stream sometimes. Like I think she's a pleasant human being. I think that from a business standpoint though, if something had to be done because she keeps getting triggered by her own community and she just keeps spouting hate speech, like what are you going to do? Like when it becomes like a fucking 4chan,
Yeah,
forum, like her chat is
she could
just
have a
garbage
special
because
chat.
they all know exactly. Like if there was something where Twitch could adapt to her and her needs or
Right.
something, like that'd be great. Like I don't even know how the fuck are people even typing that shit in her chat? Like why doesn't she just blacklist
I
all
think it's
those words?
Donos. I think it's Donos. I think on
Oh
Streamlabs.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're right.
But
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
what sucks about Tourette is like as soon as you know you can't do something, you're gonna do it. Like as soon as you know, like, oh, I can't say that, boom.
Exactly, because
Like
that's all you think
that's why
about.
it's like 2 minutes after she's gonna read it, and then like 1 minute later, boom, pops up.
Comes out of nowhere. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yep.
sucks, and I kind of feel bad.
Like
People.
so I'm
Oh,
asking
God.
you three, you're an executive of Twitch, you make the final call, she's out here saying hate speech and she can't stop it for whatever reason. What is, and your sponsors are on you, they're like, yo, we sponsor just chatting for whatever, like
Well, then
like
you're
you need,
then you're speaking against a disability. I just don't agree with it. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think
so.
right now,
I
I
think
think
it's
I don't know. I
her.
mean, I'm not a
I wouldn't
PR
ban
person,
her.
so I'm not gonna be able to
You
do
got a
anything about
structure,
that. But I don't know.
right? I
Yeah.
don't think Twitch really did anything to like prevent that so far, right?
Mhm,
It's not like they tried
mhm.
everything. I'm pretty sure you can add a fucking special chat, right? Or like only mods can post what's in the chat, or emote only kind of thing, or the auto
You can
mod
hide
really,
words from your
really
donations as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Something can be made, right? Can be done at this point. So I don't even
Mhm.
think that they have any problems with that. I think it's really good that Twitch is accepting any disability from a PR perspective. I think that's also a lot better than there's pros and cons, and the pros are a lot higher and a
Mhm.
lot bigger than the cons
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
far.
Well,
Yeah, I know she was getting a lot of backlash for that. Like there was like a bunch of
Yeah.
articles written about
Oh
that
yeah.
shit like a couple months ago where they're like, because Twitch on God did not know what to do. They're like we don't know. They're like this is a very sticky
It's
situation to be
sensitive.
in.
It's a sensitive issue, bro. Oof.
Yeah,
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 You don't want to go
100%.
through that.
Mhm,
it's different,
mhm.
man. You know, it's
Yeah,
just the reality of it.
yeah.
yeah, but like, I mean, going back to the beginning of the Dubs thing, like, I responded under that tweet. It was in support of, not support of Dubs. It was, I don't want him to be canceled. Is my
No, of
idea of
course
things,
not.
right?
Of
It's
course not.
the tweet came off like, yeah, dude, just go around. I guess some people took it as just go around saying that shit. It's not part of my vocabulary. Did it used to be when I played Modern Warfare 2 and I was 13? Yeah, it was,
No.
because that was part of the lobbies. But I don't say that anymore because I understand it's an aggressive word. And I think it's aggressive. I don't say it, but if somebody says it, I just don't feel like it should be 1 million views on Twitter and thousands of people hating on somebody. I think, it just gets handled.
You
A
know
million.
why?
Again though,
The
you're in a spot where you can't. The reason why it's getting this much viewership is because your face clan is huge, man. Huge, massive.
Right.
So you're in that position. So whatever you say is gonna get to that entire audience.
Yeah.
That's millions of people, right? It's a huge network of people that it's
Look,
on you again. Like so, if
right.
you're saying that stuff, it's gonna get out there.
Being a
The
part
the
of
thing,
something bigger than you will ever
it's
be.
the platform that he has,
Yeah.
Arab, and it's
right.
your it's when you have to understand when you get to that level of success, you have to have a standard of understanding that Fortnite with your friends is no longer just a game. It is your workplace, and you have to treat it as such. And I know he's really young, and I love Dubs. Mega's my boy. I fucking love Mega. Mega's like my little brother. Every time I see him, I get stoked. Like I love him. I love seeing
He's
both of them
he's
succeed.
cute. He's like a baby, dude. Mega's a
Yeah, dude,
baby.
he used to play in my games all the time, like Dubs. Like I love Dubs too. Like obviously, I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just saying that I completely understand why people reacted the way they did, because the thing is, man, in the whole social media world, like we were talking about earlier, man, everyone's coming for your spot. Everyone wants your spot. Whenever someone succeeds, there's
Right.
always 100 people trying to knock them down, and that's the reality of the industry. And if you're not ready for that, then that's one of those things where it's like maybe it's not for you. I'm not saying that about Dubs. Like Dubs is obviously a legend. He's very valuable to his communities, the ones he's a part of. I'm just saying, with great power comes great responsibility, and you
a
cannot
lot of
forget
But
that.
I've been on that end where, like, I had one of my friends back in the day, 4 years ago. I was really involved in the YouTube scene, whatever, the YouTube commentary scene. I had some YouTuber with 800,000 subscribers named Pyrocynical make a video on my friend, and I was associated with that video, right? Because I was in my friend's videos. We used to collab and whatever. I started getting hundreds of messages telling me kill myself, to drink bleach, call me a piece of shit, just for being friends with someone that a big YouTuber didn't like. And the reason the YouTuber didn't like him is because my friend had copyright strike the big YouTuber's video for stealing his video. So I've been on an end where I have hundreds of people telling me to kill myself and drink bleach. I can't imagine a 17-year-old. The second time, this is the second time. The first time he was accused of aimbotting, he had thousands of people telling him to kill himself. This time it's worse. There's thousands of people calling him a racist, to kill himself. And I don't believe he's actually racist. I think it's a mistake to say that word, but I don't think it's fair to say that someone's racist if they let that word slip up. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't
agreed.
think,
Agreed.
I don't think racism is defined
I'm
off
not
saying
saying
a word.
we're not
Of
saying
course.
he's racist. We're just saying it's just
Right,
Yeah,
right. But
we're
that's
just
that's
saying-
why I hopped in, because I felt like, and obviously these are battles that I need to choose and not hop in, right? Like I involved myself in without needing to, but it's because I saw that there's nobody like telling these people that, yo, this kid's not a racist. All I see is thousands of comments.
It needs to come from him.
Yeah,
Him
Right,
saying that means
right.
more than you saying that. You know what I'm saying? And the reality of it is, like, obviously, I don't believe Dubs is a racist. Dubs is one of the nicest kids I've ever talked to, ever met. You know, him and Mega, they're like two little kids for sure. It's a thing where, you know, when you're with your friends, you know, it's locker room talk. You know, it's the same shit that Trump got a lot of shit from, right?
Right.
But and why did Trump get a lot of shit? Because he is in a state of responsibility that is held to a much higher standard than the average human.
Right.
And that compared to where Dubs is, it's a very similar situation. So you can't, dude. First of all, man, being on YouTube for as long as we've been, even streaming for as long as I've been, bro, like, you're stoned if you think that no one's ever gonna hate you and no one's ever gonna say shit
yeah.
about what you do and what you say,
Oh,
like
for
that.
sure, people will always
That,
hate you.
like,
Right.
bro, listen, the whole comments about killing yourself and drinking bleach, that's not even worth mentioning, bro. That just comes with the territory. Like, it really isn't
Right.
even worth
Right,
mentioning,
right.
genuinely. Bro, you know what I mean? Bro, go look through some Jig Squad video comments, please. You know what I'm saying? Like we stopped reading them. Like, I read them every once in a while, but like realistically, like, we don't really go through them anymore like we used to. And it's for your own mental. You don't need to read
Yeah.
that shit. Like, it's
Yeah, you
not.
can't
That's
read
not what it's
everything on the
about.
internet. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, it feels bad. People tell you to kill yourself, but if you take it that seriously, where you actually feel bad about yourself, then how did
Yeah.
you even get as far as Dubs has gotten? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
so you can't really use that as an excuse, because if you're that soft to where words like that hurt you, then shit, social media is definitely not where you should be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we live in a different world now than when we grew up, right? Like, social media is huge, so you gotta remember
We need
people
to
are gonna
stop caring
wanna
about
say
the
You know
people
what's
that don't
so
care about them.
sad? You know what's so sad? The people that tell you to kill yourself are the same people that are telling you saying the N-word's wrong. Like, telling you to kill yourself is any better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
that's my point.
it's all ironic, bro. It's all ironic, childish shit. You know,
Yeah.
the
It's like, how
target
does this
audience.
make you any better?
The target
Explain.
audience for everything we do is kids ages
Right.
fucking 17 and below.
One
Which
thing I realized is that, like, you can't feel bad about the kid that told you to kill yourself, because most of the time the person, like, if the person actually thought about telling you to kill yourself, it's probably because she is repressed. That person is suppressed.
I don't know
That
about
person
that.
doesn't really like,
no,
bro.
bro,
Maybe.
people
I'm-
just want to hurt you. People
Yeah.
people who tell you to
Really?
kill yourself, bro.
I don't
They
think-
don't
Yeah.
they're not sad about themselves, bro. They just
Really?
Oh, a
they
lot of
just
time
see
they are, but
they
yeah.
see you succeeding, bro, and they don't want to kill themselves. They just want you to hurt. They want
Right, because
they
they're sad
want
about
you to
themselves, though. They don't
they
want to kill
want you
themselves. No.
they want you to pay a price for your fame or your
It-
money or whatever it is, and
Right.
that price is dealing with their bullshit.
Jealousy,
you know?
maybe the
It,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
goes,
jealousy,
It goes to the
yes.
point we never got to
Sorry.
finish that point. The kid in my chat, right? Like, I have a 13-year-old kid in my chat that came in one day when we were just chilling, and we were talking about like a gay pride festival or something, and he goes, "I hate gay people." And this is one of my actives, and I look at him, and I could have been like, "Dude, you're a homophobe. Fuck you. Get out of my chat. I don't want to see you anymore. You're banned." He wouldn't have learned anything. He would have said, "Yo, like, this guy's a piece of shit." But instead, I stopped him. I said, "Look, you've been raised differently, right? You're from Saudi Arabia. You live in the US now, right? There's obviously, like, being gay there, you can be murdered for it, right? You're raised on that idea that that is wrong and this is evil, and so when you're raised like that, you haven't been taught better." So we sat him down. We had a well, not sat him down. He was in chat. We had a conversation with him for an hour. Explained to him why gay people are just like straight people. They're humans. They just like something else. And by the end of it, he was like, shit, you're right. There's nothing wrong with gay people. And rather than calling him a homophobe and him going and not learning anything, we taught him. And by the end of it, he was like, wow, this makes sense. You know, maybe he doesn't switch his thinking right away, but it's now planted in his head. Yo, there's other ways to think about this. I need to like look into that or think differently. And I think that's much more valuable than just throwing these terms, racist, homophobe. Teach somebody why and help them understand how they can be better. Because I don't think attacking with name calling really does anything for anyone. So.
Yeah, agreed.
That's
I
true.
think and like we were talking about Beast Luis and like other people that were griefers and try reforming them. I feel like a lot of people they just need to get talked to calmly and not so. Man, when people bring up a polarizing subject, everyone just hops on their side and fucking takes aim. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody calmly speaks to anyone. Like no, the problem with this community, man, and gaming in general is I feel like people are so much more quickly to not try to understand each other. Like people don't listen. People just want to be heard over everyone and call everyone else stupid and everyone else this and everyone else that.
I
But
think that's just the world we live in today, right? Like
I
everybody's
guess,
like
man. But
so
gaming, I feel like
argumentative.
gaming just amplifies it. Gaming, politics, and religion, man, are
Yeah.
the most volatile thing. Because look, man, I come from a skateboarding, surfing background. That shit does not exist in skating and surfing, man. It really doesn't. It's
Yeah.
not like that, bro. Skating and surfing, everyone's like, yo, you like Trump? I like Hillary. Fuck it, whatever. Hit a kickflip real quick. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot more chill. But like in gaming, man, I don't know, man. The the toxicity is just insane, dude. And it's just it's crazy. Turner, growing up, Turner used to come, and film with us all the time, everywhere. And he was so fucking witty, bro. He was so like I think I'm witty. Like Jack thinks he's witty. Like we're all pretty funny, right? But Turner was just so quick, so quick. And for years, I was like, bro, how the fuck is this kid so clever? And then when I started streaming, I realized it's because you have to be, bro. You have to be able to think like this when kids in your chat are talking shit. It's
Yeah.
all these kids every single day coming in your chat, just fucking provoking you and talking shit and this and that. You have to be able to come up with something on, at a split second. And that's why that's why he's so quick. And I never understood it until I started streaming. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's kind of sad that it's like that. You have to just build such a quick defense. You have to be so on edge all the time, and it's kind of crazy that that's how this community is.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is what it is, right? Like,
Is a quote I love to say is, it do be what it do be. So yeah, it is what it is.
What are you, 15? You do box fights every day?
Right.
Holy fuck.
I think we're gonna wrap it up there. It's a long ass episode.
2 hours, man.
97 minutes.
That was a good.
it's a long time.
That was a good fucking podcast.
Thank you
Yo,
for being
yo,
on
real
here.
quick before we end this, Dusty, I just want
Oh, we
to
gotta
let
ask the
you know.
question.
No, wait, real quick. I want to let you know, Dusty, that when we were talking about Tourette's and all that stuff, I was not talking about you specifically because now you made me feel bad because I pissed you off.
No.
I wasn't talking about you specifically. I'm just talking about in general. A lot of people, as soon as they are diagnosed, they don't seek a second opinion or a third opinion, and they
I know.
immediately just.
I am on that side.
Oh, my
I'm with you.
mom went to the doctor, and the doctor basically said she has like a tumor in her leg or something. The doctor basically said he's gonna have to give her radiation that might amputate her leg. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get a second opinion. Like, rather than just right away.
Exactly,
Like
that's what I'm
week, rather
saying.
than right
Like,
away, she's like, yeah, I don't think that's real. So she's going to
yeah,
get
exactly.
a second and third opinion.
But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are like, oh shit, I have
Right.
ADHD. All right, well, load me up on them drugs, and then they just take them for the rest of their lives. And they
Mhm.
never get a second opinion or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't coming at you, Dusty. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
I know.
a lot
I know.
of people.
And dude, the thing is, we have an audience and there's a podcast, and that's why I want to like you guys are really against medication. I am at some point against medication. Like there's still like you could literally go to the doctor and be like, I think I'm ADHD, and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, like give me the money. You're ADHD. You know what I mean? Like you have ADHD because you give me money and I give you pills and I make money and it's a business. And I agree with that. But like I don't want kids to like think that they don't need like help, right? Like I think that if you go through the same shit I've been. Like if you go to school and you literally are a fucking you just don't understand anything. You just look at the clock, you look at the board, you look at, and it's not because you don't have motivation. It's just because you're distracted. You're literally distracted and you don't know what you're doing. Just get help and see what's going on. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you need it. But yeah, second opinions matter. Like you need to. I agree with
Yeah.
Edwin. I agree with Arab. I agree with everyone. It's
And the
just
other
that,
thing too that we didn't mention is dosage is a big thing too, because
yeah,
you know, that's one thing we definitely didn't talk about, because a lot of people that get, you know, ADD or whatever it is that they have an issue with, especially if it's with focusing, they get like either a lower or a higher dosage, and I think that like messing with that in a sense of like, okay, well you started on it, now you're on a high dosage, well like in a couple months like maybe down it a little bit, this and that. Side
most
note,
of the time it's higher.
I'll tell you a quick story. So I was in college. I had a really big test coming up, and I think I had work or I had something to do that same day. And I knew I was gonna be tired. I knew I was gonna have that much time to study. And I knew this kid I knew had Adderall, and I was like, all right, bro, listen, I've never taken this in my life, but like, would you sell me one? He's like, yeah, for sure. So I go to his house. He sells me one. I'm like, how much is it? He's like, $10. I'm like $10. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, $10 for one. Fuck. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I give him $10. And so I do the shit I have to do in the morning. I get to my test. I'm like, you know what? I don't really feel like I need it. I actually have more energy than I thought I was gonna have. Like, so I'm fine. So I didn't take it. And then I remember the kid was like, take this. It'll get an elephant through college. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. So I didn't end up using it. I gave it to my friend. I was like, look, I don't know, you fucking do this shit sometimes here if you need it for whatever. So okay, cool, I got a test coming up. Bro, this motherfucker took the pill and it fucked him up, bro. Like he was tripping. And then later he's like, bro, he's like, I fucked my shit up. He's like, I stared at my shoe the entire time. And I was like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? He's like, I don't know what the fuck you gave me. So I called the kid. I'm like, dude, what the fuck did you give me? He goes, that was like a 95 milligram pill. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then the kid that I gave it to, he's like, bro, he's like 95 milligrams is like is like 3 times the recommended like higher dosage amount. He's like 30 milligrams, 20 milligrams is what people usually take. Like 85, 95 is fucked. So one, thank God I didn't take the pill. And two, dosage definitely has to do with like,
yeah.
you know,
Start low, man. Start low, dude. Like don't like if I'm sorry if you take medication and you don't eat, it's because you take high. It's too high. Like me, I take a dosage that if you would take, you would literally not eat. But I'm good, like because my metabolism and everything, like, it's fine. Like I need it. People are like sometimes like, dude, why are you like not focused? Like you take Adderall. I'm like, yeah, but like it doesn't do the same shit to me that it does to you.
mm-hmm,
It brings me back to what I should be, right?
mm-hmm,
What I should be like,
mm-hmm.
and yeah, I always like at 5 hours into something, even if I took Adderall, I'm gonna have a hard time to focus, and I'm distracted as well. Like
Yeah.
it's just
I just wanted to bring that back up because I didn't want you to think that I'm a fucking piece of shit.
I
Even though
don't think you are.
I
I know
am.
you are,
Yeah, I mean
but
I am, but like for different reasons, not this.
yeah, no, no, it's all good. No bad blood.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's wrap it up. Can somebody else ask this question? I don't want to ask this question.
All right, Joelle, listen.
If your
I'm gonna
neighbor
ask
has a dick,
I'm gonna ask you this question because you are Arab's boss, therefore he cannot ask you this
No, I
question.
can ask him this question. I've been reprimanded recently, so I need to tone it down a little bit. So someone else ask this question.
Who reprimanded you? Who reprimanded?
I wasn't
Who reprimanded
reprimanded.
you?
I was just told to tone it down on the
Who?
tweets. I'm not gonna say who.
It was me. What do you think?
Like who
Oh,
else would I?
okay. Well then shit.
Yeah, he just told
Well,
me
anyways.
no, he told me to tone down the tweets. Wait, he's right. He's right. I need to tone down the
Arab.
I don't need
Okay,
to get
guys.
into shit that I don't need to get into.
Pick and choose.
Bro,
your
didn't
battles.
I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that fucking months ago, bro?
But
Did I
I
tell you
stopped
that?
getting in drama. That one was just like
No, it's not even
Bro,
that. You have
no,
to
is that
remember.
why?
you-
Wait, why did
okay.
you tell him that? Is that why
Bro,
yesterday
did
you
you-
tweeted out? I hope everyone's having a good morning or whatever the fuck you tweeted.
No,
out.
no.
Like, since when does he tweet
No,
that?
you have to remember.
Yeah,
You're trying to build a brand, and you have people that are sponsors and stuff looking at the stuff that you're tweeting. That there's a lot of stuff that's on edge, and they're gonna say no to you and not give you money because of the stuff that you're tweeting.
Arab,
So-
please just vouch for the fact that I've been telling you this for like 6 months, bro. Please.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, but
I
Okay,
get it. Listen, I
continue.
get your comedy. I get it. I'm funny. Yes. You know who doesn't think it's funny? People that write checks.
People with
no,
money.
No.
Yes.
I don't think they have a problem with the comedy. I think it was what I responded to that tweet is the big thing. That's it.
Yeah. We're
Well,
talking about
anyways.
overall, but who cares?
Yeah.
We'll talk about this off this.
Hey,
I want to change the
I just-
future of our future kids.
I'm just
What's the
claiming
question?
that I've told her to. Anyways, all right. So listen,
All right.
you clearly have a crush on your neighbor. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and so now I want you to think of, because you clearly find her attractive to whatever extent.
Mm-hmm.
So now try to think of the most attractive male you can think of, male, and just say it out loud, just real quick. It doesn't even matter who it is.
have to say his name.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Hey, good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck is
Yo,
Jason
that's gonna-
Momoa.
That's the motherfucker that played he played
Aquaman.
fucking Aquaman, bro.
And
He's
then Khal
ripped.
Drogo in Game of Thrones.
He's
Um,
listen, I have long hair. He's every long hair
Wow.
motherfucker's dream person
That's
to
a
be.
pretty dude. Listen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Jason Momoa, that's a good dude. I give him that.
Okay, so anyways,
I can say I got that.
So life on the line, gun to your head, you have to go down on one of them. But Jason Momoa, now instead of having a penis, has a fat pussy. And your neighbor now has a pretty sizable penis.
I think I can't answer this. I'm not gonna answer this because I'm in a position where I shouldn't be talking about this publicly.
Fair play. Fair play.
All right, just do a.
You're the second person that we're gonna allow to not answer that. Actually, the second person that we've asked that is allowed to not answer it. We didn't.
Yeah, I can't answer that.
That's why I didn't ask it, bro. I'm not asking this.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
kind of fucked. Even I wouldn't have asked that.
We didn't ask it to like Maddie. I don't think we didn't ask it to girls. Like we didn't ask it to. We had the two people we asked it to that didn't answer it, and that we let them was you and Young Calc. Those are the two people that haven't asked.
Wait, Young Calc didn't answer that?
No,
right?
He's being weird about
Dude,
yeah.
dude, and he
Because he doesn't know. Because he
Dude,
doesn't know.
Calc tweets out shit like, "I want you to bend me over the table," and he'll tweet out whole fanfics of pornos, and that's why we were confused. So whatever, we learned.
Whatever.
But yeah,
Like we all know the answer is Jason Momoa. Is all I'm saying. But anyways,
yeah, 100% it is.
bro, that would have been my answer just because I'm a fan.
Imagine like if his neighbor is literally right next to the door, right? And he's
Like,
like, I would
here-
suck my neighbor's dick.
All right, let's cut it there. We don't want to get too deep into it. Concealed, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming here to this podcast. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for answering.
No, I mean, hopefully we'll do this next time once we get like the house set up and stuff. We'll set up like a studio and everything there, and then you guys can do podcasts there and stuff. Would be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope if that house is ever happening.
We'll wait for Fortnite another 2 months.
Are there any socials that you'd like to shout out that where people should find you? What are you doing for the next few months? Let the people know.
Raised by Kings GG on everything. Just look it all up.
Okay.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll be
Awesome.
around. You'll see my face.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, we're on Spotify. Probably for the next future episodes, we're gonna start releasing an audio-only podcast. I think that would be pretty cool. That way, you guys actually click that Spotify link, and so basically, the episode will end, and we'll have like 5 or 10 more minutes where we ask some questions on the podcast on audio only.
That'd be good.
So make sure you click the link in the description and follow us on Spotify. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Later.